cause now we know that we can take it. We face it all cause we go big or we go home. Dance like you made it and you found it all. This is paradise. Dance like you made it and you found it all. This is paradise. This is paradise. This is paradise. Yo! Don't be afraid to let go, just a little bit more. Taking the heavenly glow, we've come to adore. No matter where we go, I know we're gonna make it. No matter where we go, I know we're not alone. We face it all cause now we know that we can take it. We face it all cause we go big or we go home. Dance like you made it and you found it all. This is paradise. Dance like you made it and you found it all. This is paradise. This is paradise. This is paradise. This is paradise.
Yo, pulled up to the set when I heard that brutal sound of the bass. Start to feel like I'm dreaming, man, should've seen that look on my face. But I'm so low-key, I'm an anonymous G that I left no trace. But when I step one foot in the room, I'ma set this pace. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this. Yeah. My God. Yeah. I feel like king of the hill when they're king of the hill. My God. Yeah. It feels like murder. Setting them alight when I lit that flame. Try pulling up side by side for the race, just realize that we're in a different lane. Yeah, see I'm out here killing the game. How can you claim that we're living the same? See in reality being on a similar stage. You're sitting in the crib while I'm singing my name. That flames, whole of the city on lock. The coldest flows and the cream of the crop. Weave them peas with a lean and a bop. Gonna fold.
No, that's true. We need to be watching this. This is way more interesting than the posturing up
Oh,
top.
Cleaver! By the way, new Baron does so much damage. The shield
This is
helps,
not gonna go the way
but
they
they are
want.
in trouble.
Yeah, this is not going well. Akali isn't even gonna
Seraphine
teleport.
looking for an
Akali's
amazing
running
ult. I'm
out.
not sure it's gonna come out, but if it will, it'll be soon. Ornal comes out. If Seraphine ult stops it,
Akali
Seraphine goes
is behind
down.
them.
Mundo's behind, but it doesn't matter. Ezreal's full health coming into this fight while Jinx is dead, and you have to imagine the BBB is going to regret this Baron call for a long time. Huge QE! Crazy with that, bro! Oh! Lucian is still untouched, but everyone else is dead! Lucian has the Wookiee core at half health. Ornn gets a kill back. Slayer's going to die with the healing field. Jax gets the double stun. Cleanse does not matter. You are only delaying your death. Slayer has to flash out, but not your ult is able to get it in. The fear is going to happen and go off, but Jax is Rel is behind. Samir is going to be able to kill absolutely everyone, but dies to the follow-up. Cleanse saves her for a little bit. That means that she gets to live. She's going to kill everyone actually instead of dying. And suddenly, Conduit is crushing it. What does it end up on? Nocturne pulls off the Herald. They're gonna ult in. Weave is in trouble. So is Syke. Does not get anything off the ult. Dies to it. They get the Pike, but it's not worth it. They have to flash it and heal out and might not live anyways. Absolutely does not. Because Vendetta kills him. Weave might escape with his life, but his team will not have the same.
This is the spot for baby girl. I'm sorry.
Diana and Dixie are here to get the kill, but Aatrox just runs away. The thoughts, however, definitely confirms it. Here, flash out, but you're gonna get ulted, but it doesn't matter. Even Biggie is in trouble because she tried to face check the bush a little bit too much. Nasus gets pulled back for the Aatrox E I've ever seen. Hello, welcome to LXC Season Split 1 for the Winter Split, Week 2 for Crusader, the Emerald League. We're going to be watching RAWR versus Rift Warriors. I'm Scarlet, and this is Agate, and I'm talking fast because we got to get into draft soon. Yeah,
You can't say that and get quiet. You can't say that and get quiet. But
yes,
yeah.
but we're gonna get into the draft soon. The teams have been waiting for a little bit. This is going to be RAWR on blue side, Rift Warriors on red side, and it'll be the first time that either of these teams are on stream, I believe. I might have to look at last week's, but they have played obviously last week just off stream, and I'm excited to see their debut on stream.
I'll be excited if these games are actually good.
Well,
Oh,
I
that was
mean,
kind of rude. Sorry,
I just hope we
apologize.
I hope we get to watch them after my Monday experience. So hopefully everything goes well. Yeah, I don't know too much about these teams. I haven't been keeping up with the Emerald League as much. What have you noticed about the Emerald League so far, Augite?
Um, it gets a well. Last time it was interesting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think last time I was here, last week that was what 2-1, and the team that we all expected to win just did not win. They took one game, and then the other two, they pretty much got blown out, if I'm remembering correctly. Someone can correct me, but if you do, you're kind of a bitch. Anyway, um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
but either way, again, these two
Emerald League
teams
plays
weren't.
quick though. Like hopefully these games won't go to 40-minute games like the rest of the rest of the league. Hopefully.
I mean, I am noticing this season it feels like the games are going longer. That could be just my own personal bias, but it might change as the season gets a little bit older. And as people figure out what's going on, really. I'm trying to
You
find
said
the
that to me,
drafts.
and it sounded like you had no faith.
I just mean that it does depend on the coordination and how the losing team wants to play it as well, because they might be a team that looks to fight well behind and just try to outskill the opponent, or they just try to lose as little as possible while waiting for their advantage to come. However, draft is starting. Again, RAWR is blue side, and Rift Warriors is red side. Is that a Garen ban? That is
No way.
okay. It's a Volibear ban. That makes more sense.
Gracias, God.
Um,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
was
So
like a jump scare, Garen and Champ Select for a second. That it doesn't happen, and obviously a ban isn't as indicative, but Annie ban, however, does come through,
followed
and
by
the
the
Cinder
Cinder
follow up.
ban.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. All right. Well, that's.
I'm,
Do you think that
so,
Volibear is kind of a flex ban for maybe jungle on top or just jungle?
I think it might be solo lane. I could be wrong. I feel like Volibear has not been seen that much in jungle. Let me try to pull up the players specifically,
All right.
because obviously
And
it
while you
very much matters on
and while you
them.
do that, Samira also taking out of this game. No Samira, no spin to win here. And let's see if the
So
last ban for
immediately I
Ron.
opened up Berserker, the top laner for Rift Warriors, and it's a bunch of
Mhm.
Garen. I haven't seen any Volibear there, but there's a lot of Garen here, and I think that's something that should be brought up.
Hold on. I mean, let's see if it comes through. But also, Varys and Twitch also out of this game.
You know,
Twitch.
the
Go
one
ahead.
thing I want to point out about all these champions is that they're very strong laners. Um, it does seem like both teams are very contentious about not allowing a strong lane to come through and dominate the game, or at least taking away some of the options.
Okay, you were looking at thinking lane, and I was thinking team fights. I was,
Yeah,
I was,
that's fair too.
I was thinking these are some. They took out some power in these team fights, and they
Oh,
picked up
splitting up the Ezreal
Karma.
Karma is nice. So Karma is usually paired with the Ezreal. However, Rift Warriors is saying, "I AD carry, we'll pick it up, and it'll be not yours to play with," which is interesting to see because you don't usually see Ezreal into Karma, despite this being an option, because usually Karma's picked with the Ezreal at the same time. I'm also kind of surprised to see the Karma being the priority there instead of the Ezreal. Or maybe they were just looking for Karma and weren't even thinking about Ezreal, and Rift Warriors is off the mark. Seraphine, however, is an interesting thing to pair with Ezreal.
I
I
mean,
like it,
it
but
works.
yeah, it works.
It
It's
works.
just very interesting to pick it into Karma, and kind
Yeah,
of.
actually, that could be. That could be again. We said we. That could be the mid lane Seraphine.
Mhm, mhm.
We've seen it come through before.
For sure, for sure. I just wonder if Rift Warriors was preparing to pick Ezreal, or if it was an adaptation to the Karma pick, and that's like something that could really determine how ready your AD carry is to play. Like, was Ezreal Seraphine something they practiced, or was it just like, yeah, I can play Ezreal. They pick Karma, let's do it. The Misfortune, however, also works with Karma, and again is something that really wants to win lane. So this is definitely one of the more heavy laning dependent bot lane that we've seen on stream. Misfortune Karma versus Ezreal Seraphine is very sharp, for sure.
And now you got me over here wondering if they mind gamed themselves or if they mind gamed us. I don't know. I was gonna say I think the Ezreal is like a takeaway pick, but then they picked Misfortune. I'm like, that could have just been the plan the whole time, and they
Yeah,
just
I don't
mind
know if
gamed with
we're.
Warriors.
I feel like if Karma Ezreal was what RAR wanted, they would have waited to pick up both of them. I feel like they just wanted the Karma, and Rift Warriors really psyched themselves out, but I could be wrong. I mean, maybe RAR's AD carry Egoist actually plays Karma or plays Ezreal because it goes well with Karma and their support really wants Karma. But either way, the Udyr and Ornn is super interesting. I mean, Ornn less so, but you know how I feel about Ornn. Udyr,
I mean,
however,
you know how
really
I feel
could
about
make that
Orange.
matchup.
I feel the same way you feel about Orange. Okay.
But Udyr could make that matchup very interesting. Now, this leaves jungle and mid for bans unless that Udyr is a flex. So they think it's the Udyr is a flex because that's a Gwen ban. I don't think many people are expecting Gwen jungle. It has been like tiny proportions of people are playing it, but I imagine they think that Udyr is jungle. So they banned Gwen and then the Silas, potentially out. And then RAR bans the Vladimir, which would be Vladimir mid, probably. So it's kind of interesting to see a Vladimir ban because I don't know that Vladimir would have worked that well with Warriors comp. The Vagar makes a bit more sense.
those those are some interesting bands.
Yeah, I it does feel like you're kind of I mean, I would have to look at the match history of last week to see if there's scouting that I didn't do that the teams did, but it does seem like a really interesting assortment of bands. Victor, however, is an excellent blind pick and works really well with the Seraphine and Orn.
Okay, so now we just need to see Roxy's answer to that.
I mean,
What's
there
her answer to
aren't
what
that
they
many
said?
answers, right? It's just like, how do you want to uh, deal with the Victor as much as possible in lane without like there's no strong counter. There's just how do I not get destroyed in lane basically. The Trundle is offloading that quest into fifth pick. You see that a lot too, where like, you know what, give me a few extra seconds to think about mid lane, pick our jungler or top lane.
Okay. All right. So that is a what is that? Is that a top lane trundle?
One of them is going top lane. We'll have to find out in the actual champ select draft. I imagine that it is a Udyr top, but I could be wrong. Okay, this is interesting. So this says that Rift Warriors had the wrong read all along. I mean, I'm of course speculating that Rift Warriors picked Ezreal to take it away from Karma, but the Blitzcrank pick into Ezreal, by the way, means that Karma was always planned to go mid, or at least was a flex mid, which means taking Ezreal didn't counter the Karma, but it did counter the Blitzcrank that RAWR picked for themselves, which is also interesting. I
Uh,
mean, it feels like the
insert
teams were on.
Inception meme here.
It does feel like the team were on completely different levels, but not like one was way higher level than the other. They were having two different conversations. I mean, the
Are you
Karma
sure?
was picked.
Cause to me it feels like definitely Rarcy is on another level. Cause I didn't see that coming. Be honest, you didn't see that coming.
No,
I'll
I
bet
didn't see it
you could
coming,
ask
but it
anyone in
also
chat that they didn't see that coming.
right, it's on another level, but I'm not sure that the level is good, right? You pick Karma mid and you get the Ezreal pick out of them, but then after benefiting from forcing them to pick Ezreal, you pick Blitzcrank.
Yeah, I don't know what
What's
is up
going
with
on?
that.
So I don't know. It'll be very interesting. I will update us with where the Udyr and Trundle are going. I do like that RAR is moving saying the Karma can be a flex. I imagine that Ladyboy can also play at support. But this shows that you can't really take the Ezreal because they will just pick a different bot lane. I like the Victor here showing that Rift Warriors is ready to blind pick a mid that is hard to counter. Although it wasn't technically blind pick, I guess, with the Karma already showing.
They
The
didn't know that
bans
though.
are very
They didn't know that.
interesting. Well, yeah, I guess they could have just picked the Ezreal just because, and then they picked Victor knowing it was Karma mid.
No, I'm
But
with you on the thing. I'm with you on the thinking that they picked Ezreal to take away from Karma. I believe that is what happened here, and then I believe they just picked Victor because they were like, we don't know who's gonna be mid. Let's just get Victor out here because that's probably the safest pick we can do here.
also
Um,
one thing to really mention is also the Poppy, which is the 10th pick of this draft, and it does not look like the 10th pick of that draft. That is a comfort pick because Poppy usually likes to use her W, and there is actually zero chance she gets to use the W. There's not, except for a Blast Plant appearance, I suppose. Poppy W is only a move speed buff. And I'm not saying that she's only valuable for that, but you definitely don't often pick her 10th without being able to
yeah,
use that.
no, I get what you're saying. I get it completely. And that was the last pick too. That was he sat here and contemplated that,
Hmm.
and that's what he
We
went
do have
with.
an update.
So
It is Trundle, top played by Islamic Samurai, and Udyr Jungle, played by Ryan. So it is Trundle into Orn instead of Udyr into Orn. Kind
I
of
mean that does
interested to
make
see
sense.
how the Poppy and Udyr do in jungle. I like Poppy jungle, but it's definitely not a spot where I would pick it. So we'll have to see what they can cook up with that. And again, it's still about bot lane, right? Like, yes, it's not Karma, but you have a Blitzcrank, so it's even more about bot lane almost than a Karma lane. But you have an Ezreal on the other side, so it gets very confusing very quickly. But I think both junglers will be pathing towards bot. I think that mid lane will be contentious, but survivable for both laners. Do you have any other generalization predictions that we should be looking for?
I expect Udyr to be hanging around a lot mid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this setup. I believe now I'm seeing this whole team comp. I kind of get what they're going for, but I don't think Blitzcrank was the right pick here. I don't know, but I'm actually not sure who would have rounded off this as well.
I mean,
Um,
Blitzcrank could definitely be a team fight pick where you're like, he's not trying to hook Ezreal, so it doesn't matter that it's countered. But it definitely does seem like an awkward use of little flex where you flex something to get the counter pick and then waste your counter picking yourself. So we'll have to see how that goes.
yeah, yeah. Um, if anyone else has any predictions, predictions are live. So go
Yeah,
ahead,
put
throw
your
your
points
channel
behind
points in
it.
the hat, and see if you win.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, nobody has faith in RAWR, so I'm going to take
Well,
the over under on that one.
I don't know. It just seems like both teams are on different levels, and we'll have to see which one's higher. We will have to see that in a little bit, because we'll be right back with the gameplay.
All right, cool.
Nine ringing to the hit, don't stop. I feel like king of the hill when they never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound. Better rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound. Better rise up when I shut this.
Alright, welcome to week 2 of Crusader, RAWR versus Rift Warrior. There's a... Okay, so this is interesting. Most of Rift Warrior is ready for the Blitzcrank, but there's one Icarius flying too close to the sun, gets a ward off in the exact right spot, so they're gonna see this entirely. I'm curious where Rift Warrior will, how they respond, because RAWR has a asymmetrical information right now. They have no idea where Rift Warrior is. However, Ornn is not walking the safest way. It looks like he's okay. And for their troubles, RAWR has gotten a ward that doesn't see the jungler start. Meanwhile, Rift Warrior has gotten a ward that will show exactly where Ryan either is or isn't.
Okay, yeah. Nothing happened there. Also, I'm not gonna let it slide. Golf clap for you for that Icarus joke. For the Icarus, and that was good. I like that.
I
Good
used it
job.
too early. I ultimated too early. It's going to be on cooldown for whenever I really need it, actually.
Oh, that is true. You said it. I shouldn't have
Oh
brought
my
attention
god, my
to it.
bad.
I'm sorry. I messed it up. I shouldn't have brought attention to it.
Okay, cross starts for jungles. Very interesting. I don't know if Poppy really wants to be traveling towards the Orange Trundle, but we'll have to see what we do with it. Actually,
I
Udyr
mean,
might go for the invade.
and yeah, he is, but he's gonna get spotted out by that ward, which is still up.
Okay,
So
so even though Poppy was pathing towards top, now she has to cross map towards the Blitzcrank Misfortune, and I don't know that that Egoist and Ladyboy can really play safe against where Poppy is going to be. I feel like a lot of bot lanes don't know how to play against vertical jungle, so that's something to watch to see if they can play around Poppy being in their space.
yeah, that is true. But don't have to worry about the nut because Poppy hasn't left her jungle yet. Poppy is at the wolves because Poppy clears a lot slower than
Okay,
Udyr.
so they're playing around it by actually seeing whenever the red is going to be taken. They wanted to make sure that Poppy wasn't going straight there without full clearing, and they spot out that she's not anywhere close, and now Zillennial is actually pathing towards where we know the Udyr is. There's no real Trundle's up a level, so how is Trundle Ornn going to be able to move? But
This was a bad call.
Zennial's still looking for it. It might be okay if they could win the 2v2, but right
But
now
we're
the
in mid
CS
lane.
is huge. Okay, the
Oh, there we
2v2
go.
does go in their favor slightly, but Udyr still got an extra camp. And there's still all of the camps remaining. This invade goes entirely in the favor of Ryan, and Zillennial either didn't see the map or just had a different idea of how the 2v2 was going to go.
Yep. And now Poppy kind of has to do the dangerous thing here, which is try to rush over to
Okay, the hook
Garci's
comes in on
jungle. Hold
Seraphine,
on.
by the way. Ezreal is able to E4 to make sure that Egoist isn't going to go too far forwards. Scarlet gets away. However, I think the other thing Zillennial can do, and what they are doing, is ganking instead. There's not a real indication this will work. All summoners are up. Zillennial's just kind of threatening them. The hook goes wide. So really, all Zillennial got for that for Rift Warriors was just an XP lead a little bit, or just a little bit of denial for Egoist and Ladyboy, but
Hold on.
for that,
Poppy is
they're
walking
down
into two
60
people.
camps. Yeah,
Poppy is
now
surrounded.
Zillennial's definitely in trouble. Ladyboy goes in with the flash. The hook is still there, by the way. Let's see
Gun
where it
goes
goes. It
wide.
goes onto the Poppy. Poppy is definitely dead. However, I'm totally wrong. Flash out from Zillennial. Ezreal looking for the counter kill. Kill comes out, saves Egoist, but first blood from Icarius, killing Egoist, kills the Udyr, and somehow, despite the entire, I don't know, I don't know how to say differently that Rift Warrior did not set that up correctly, but they are still rewarded just by how they were able to
You
turn
mean
the
RAWR?
situation.
You mean RAWR?
No, I mean
RAWR's
Rift
blue
Warrior
side.
did not set the. Okay, sorry, 1 second. Poppy is low, and Karma probably won't be able to finish him off. However, Icarus is
What's
here.
happening?
Totally
Oh,
wrong.
oh, okay.
Icarus goes for just getting on Karma, but Udyr's gonna be able to save. Actually, might turn with the root. Stun comes out to save him a little bit of time, but now Ryan is on top of Icarus. Icarus has flash, is probably gonna have to use it over the wall. Decides not to. Finally uses it, but it's too late because the
Flashes
stun comes out,
forward.
and now Udyr gets the shutdown.
All right. You thought he was gonna flash over the wall too, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
for sure.
I don't know why he did not have confidence in it though, because he flashed forward, which was the mistake. Oh man,
I
and
think
he
that
just bought the Gain ring too.
I believe Icarus thought that he could bait the Udyr in too far, but he wasn't tracking the stun cooldown very well. So Icarus flashed over but gets stunned, and the tower dive doesn't even happen because they kill him before he gets there. And this means that the grubs are gonna go towards RAWR.
Oh man, that all started because I can't say his name correctly. He's Poppy. They're all characters to me. Poppy was in a bad spot.
I mean, it was a bad start bot to begin with, yet somehow Zilnial turns it for Rift Warriors, gets them 2 kills, and then continues to be in a bad spot, and that turns into 2 kills for RAWR. Maybe I'm just misreading the situation entirely, but it does feel like Rift Warriors got a little bit lucky with the first 2 kills and doesn't quite find that same turn for the second set
I
of
mean,
kills.
yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not mad at what's his name, Xerio. You said,
Karma is 6, by the way. Victor isn't, but the root doesn't land, so it doesn't matter.
yeah. Well, the same. Oh yeah, I'm not mad at Xerio. I didn't expect that Poppy to do that to him either. I'm not Poppy. I expected Karma to do that to him either. That was a quick kill, and then suddenly Victor wasn't there quick enough, and then
Okay,
Victor
because
got ran
Vrang might be in
down.
trouble here. The wave is in a horrible spot. She
Is it
wants to
channeling-
get the crash. Victor's not
What?
6 yet, but he will hit 6 too. Zillennial comes in, the flash out from Karma, and Zillennial's able to turn the bad wave management from Vrang into a flash.
Okay, we gotta all ask the question: was that on purpose or was that an accident?
Wait, which part?
The hex flash in the bush.
It
don't-
looked purposeful, but I'm not sure. I wasn't really looking at the Poppy. I was wondering if Karma was going to be able to get damage off on Victor first.
Me and you focused on different things, but it's okay.
Mhm.
Ha.
And
As you-
that's
yeah, it's
that's
never
why you
gonna
don't
hit
pick
him.
Blitzcrank into Ezreal, by the way. Even at that hook land, the buffer was there.
It doesn't matter. It's never gonna. It's probably never gonna hit him. When it does, who cares?
This is a really good crash from Islamic, but I'm not sure that they'll be able to turn it into anything. Meanwhile, in the entirety of RAWR is looking at this dragon, or maybe a play mid. They're going to walk over a ward eventually, but Udyr sidesteps it for now. Is going to take a tower shot. 2 tower shots, but gets the stun into the
3.
root. That's going to be a kill.
This man has no fear. That was
None
some
at
old
all.
school Trick 2G shit right there.
Yeah.
Um,
It's interesting that now you can't walk that path without taking at least 1 tower shot. However, the knockup onto Trundle might turn into something. He's too fast, though. Oh, but he turns back for an auto attack, which means his ultimate is going to be very dangerous. But the Trundle Pillar saves him from the ultimate. That Trundle Pillar saved his life.
man, you were focused on that. You did notice the almost snipe that just happened on Varane.
That was not happening. I saw it and I said, no. There's no way that Ryan messes up the smite that badly that Singisha gets it. Like,
No,
come
no,
on.
I'm talking about the fact that he almost killed Karma in the background. That ultimate had been an inch, a pixel higher. He would have killed Karma.
By the way, Ornn is just absolutely demolishing Islamic here now. After that save, like, you're still in a bad position. The crash is coming in. You have no health, almost no mana. You are Trundle, however, so you get a lot of it back. But this is almost, and certainly the pillar saves him again, because that knockup would have killed him, I believe. And now he has to farm under tower against an Ornn, Poppy, and Victor coming for the dive.
Yep, this man's dead.
Poppy should start it, gets the stun, and yeah, Victor doesn't even get there. By the way, Hook and Ezreal, that's what's supposed to happen. The ultimate comes out from Scarlet to be able to prevent the Blitzcrank from going forward, so it just ends up being a flash from Ezreal, but that's not supposed to happen.
A little slow on the reaction there. Got E'd after he pulled
But
in.
flash forward hits the Ezreal again, and MF gets the kill on a lane that's not supposed to go that way. Poppy here, by the way. Zillennial again. Vrang has no vision. This time, no flash from the last gank. Vrang needs to be more careful about where the wave goes, but actually gets the kill with the RQ. So who am I kidding? Maybe Vrang is just totally expecting the 2v1 and doesn't care.
This man is built different. Okay, this man is built different. That was the calmest walkout I've never seen, man. He did not care. Varane's built different. All right. Wow, a lot just happened right there, and it was all awesome. That flash cue from Blitzcrank. You better make the highlights. Oh.
You might have to. Okay, I'm sorry. If you play against Blitzcrank and you lose as Ezreal, you might have to ban Blitzcrank for the rest of the draft. Because
dang.
what else are you going to do?
That's cold.
No, I mean, like, if you struggle against the Blitzcrank on his biggest counter, by definition, you cannot allow it to go through again. That's just like a strategic thing, right?
Yeah, it's strategic. It is still cold for you to say that.
No, it's just, strategically, like, everyone's weak to something. Sometimes you're weak to Blitzcrank to the point where you can't play Ezreal into it,
Scarlet,
and if you can't
Scarlet,
play Ezreal into
Scarlet,
it...
Scarlet, stop.
Oh, the slow comes out, and Memphis is actually in trouble here. Has slash and heal, has to flash for the exhaust. And was not respecting that Blitzcrank was not in the lane against a Seraphine. Scarlet
Oh,
was able to get
she's
them.
staying.
I think that
And
staying
Poppy's
here
here.
is also a big reading. No sums. Poppy comes in, goes for the tower dive first, takes the tower shot. Ezreal gets the kill.
Yeah, there's nothing surprising about that.
Yep, I mean, that's just AD carry syndrome, right? Egoist was not aware that she was not safe into... Oh, Blitzcrank hook from the Raptors of our Rift Warriors. Icarus finally goes for the flash over the wall, but it might not matter because Ryan does not give a shit about turrets, stuns, knockups, but there's no damage. So it actually just turns into nothing. Interesting.
Oh, they're highlighting the
Well,
problem
but the
we were going
Poppy
to talk
comes in
about
to
later.
pick
Hey.
up the Ladyboy behind the wrong side of the river.
Oh
and,
man, that's
Karma's
when it
able to save
sounded
it.
definitely fucked up. Gotta have to strike that one. Someone make sure we didn't what's the word, go against any of the Twitch terms of service right there. Because you played back that sentence,
Oh,
Scarlet, it
man.
did not sound good.
I wasn't really thinking about it that way, but I suppose
Well,
so.
no, it
I
did not
did
sound good.
I did like how Ladyboy was able to get a really interesting flank. Like, I don't think that Icarus had any inkling that there was a Ladyboy there, but it did turn into a
son of a
rocky
shit.
escape at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, no one expects Ladyboys and, the
No, but the streams.
hmm?
It seems like we've got an interesting point where the stream has paused on the game. I'm still connected, however. I'm not sure if we can... Oh, there goes. Classic. Okay. I'm at 12:30 currently, but it seems like the stream is stuck at 12 minutes.
Yep,
Which,
it is.
exciting time for us once again. Love to be back here again.
We get to watch that again?
I mean, that was an exciting 12.5 minutes, or 12 minutes, I suppose, for the stream. For what we did get to see. We saw the Ezreal being countered by Blitzcrank. We saw some very interesting pathing by Zillennial work out, but then not. And then here we are.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say about that. But I also think I can't forget it because I don't think anyone else saw it. All right, so
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about at this point, right? Because I don't know if this is going to be a pause or just... obviously, we're working on figuring out what's going to happen, but the fact that both production and I have lost the spectator feed means we probably aren't going to be able to recover this game. And we just kind of have to hope for game 2, I think, is what that means, unfortunately. Could be wrong.
That would genuinely suck.
We're gonna try some things to figure out if we can get back into this game or if we just have to pick up for the next game, but for now it's going to be a small break and then we'll update you with what's gonna happen.
I'm fighting inside. Some days, I'm fighting inside. Some days, I'm fighting inside. Some days, just your little secret. I didn't hear the sirens. I didn't wanna see the warning signs, and now I pay the price, yeah. Oh, I should've known. It hits me like a tidal wave every time you say my name. It hits me like a tidal wave. It hits me like a tidal wave. A tidal wave. Tidal wave. Tidal wave. Tidal wave. I was so blind, waiting patient on the shoreline. Now you're leaving, but I know you got your reasons too. I didn't hear the sirens. I didn't wanna see the warning signs, and now I pay the price, yeah. Oh, I should've known. It hits me like a tidal wave every time you say my name. It hits me like a tidal wave. It hits me like a tidal wave. A tidal wave. Tidal wave. Tidal wave. Tidal wave.
She galvanized me, steady like steel, back on my feet, living for the thrill again, loving for another day. She satisfied me, gave me what I want, just what we need, never too far away, loving for another day. But she asked for something more. She asked for, yeah, she asked for something beautiful. She asked for, yeah, she asked for something beautiful. She mystifies me. Tell me what I did wrong, I plead. Never did I think we would be loving for another day. But she asked for something more. She asked for.
All right, welcome back. Game one ended after 12 and a half minutes, basically. Not really. The game one did end. RAR won. I have the stats for the game so we can talk about it at least. And then we just have to hope that the spectate client works for game two. RAR was able to pull it out in a victory in 24 minutes and 10 seconds. So we only missed about 12 minutes of gameplay. I wanted to say that it was interesting how Blitzcrank had 12 KP. Ladyboy went 0, 1, and 12, which is very impressive for a game that only lasted 24 minutes. I'm trying to find overall. It looks like the kills were 22 kills to 7. So only 10 kills was Ladyboy not part of. And Vrang didn't die at all, despite getting ganked and almost dying there twice.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see any of it, guys. We're in
We
the
got to see
same boat
12
as
minutes
you.
of it. We got to see
We
12
got to
minutes of it.
see. We got to see out of how many kills did you say?
22 to
20?
7,
What was the
29
score?
kills. 22 to 7.
22%. We left it was 5 and 4.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did. Well, It didn't end up that close after all at the end. I do want to say that for like from the first 12 minutes we did learn a lot. Like I think the first 12 minutes are obviously the most impactful of a league game, especially considering how this one turned out where yeah, we only saw whenever it was 20k to 19k, but we also saw the team that was 20k up go on to win the game with closing out only losing 3 more deaths after that. So the first 12 minutes really did dictate the pace of the game, and RAR was able to take that momentum and close the game out. And most of what that was just, I mean, it was definitely the pathing of level one that completely was the narrative of the first 12 minutes.
I'm sorry. You, I understand we're trying to make it seem like it's no big deal, but we did just only watch 12 minutes of the game, and we didn't get to the fun parts. We don't know what they did. We don't know how they eked out this victory. I mean, I'm not gonna say eked out because it was 22-7. Um, we didn't get to see any of the plays. I'm upset. The point is, I'm upset. I hope you're upset too.
Yeah, understandable. I just think that bringing up for game two, we should definitely mention that level one jungle is going to be a big part of it, and the draft is going to be a big part of it because I expect to see the Blitzcrank ban. We are getting into draft very soon. Rift Warriors did elect to go blue side, and I'm expecting a Blitzcrank ban. What other adaptations would you expect from the first 12 minutes and whatever else they played?
Let's see. I expect them to. Let's see. No Blitzcrank, and I don't. I hope that this time they don't panic pick their ADC. On the side of what was the name again?
Rift Warriors or some Gushia?
Rift Warriors. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble because
Uh,
I usually remember them by their first letters, and they're both RAW and Rift Warriors. So I almost said RAW Warriors. Um, so I expect them to hopefully this time
okay, we are in
not
draft,
get
by the
mind
way.
gamed.
Yeah. Um, Samira band, Syndra band. These are the same bands as last time.
Yep, yep.
So
Nothing's changed.
yeah, I think that Ezreal probably won't be seen by Rift Warriors this time. I could be wrong. Maybe they just thought it was Karma band comes out, so the slight adaptation makes a lot of sense, and then the Blitzcrank band that was expected for sure. So notable that RAR has not changed their bans, and I'm wondering if they're going to change their picks other than the ones that were banned out.
Okay, so
Yeah, even the Varus ban means the same first 3 bans from RAR as last time.
I mean they won,
Mhm.
so
Um,
they did win. So I think they're just saying, okay, well we just don't want you playing the same champions we didn't give you before. I mean that worked out, and look what happened.
I think that there was an argument for an Ornn ban. However, instead of Ornn as a late game monster, Rift Warriors has gone with Vladimir, blind pick, which is intense.
Man, okay. So they're also gonna go. Okay, so one thing that has changed here is they didn't ban Annie, on the
Yes,
side of Rift Warriors, and
correct.
RAR didn't get to ban Vladimir yet, and they both picked up these champions.
Hmm.
I'm sensing some
Uh,
comfort picks.
yeah, I wonder how they are going to counter the Vladimir because they're obviously aware of it. They RAR banned it in band 4 and 5. So they're aware of the Vlad. They let it through this time, or they left it through both times, but it's picked this time. Curious what their counter is. It looks like it's Annie, and then Kaisa blind pick is also a very, very wild blind pick.
There is no fear in RAR today.
I mean, you show that you can counter yourselves and still win the lanes. I mean, it's not unfounded. Ash would be an interesting pick because it is a bit of a flex. Okay, that one I was honestly not expecting. I think that Ezreal did not play poorly or anything, but I wasn't expecting them to go to it without the karma. Um, which means that they maybe didn't pick it just because Karma was picked. Maybe they thought Ezreal was the right pick, and it kind of makes sense whenever you have someone like a Vladimir. You want someone who can draw pressure away, who can deal with the jungle pressure because your mid lane might not be able to match roams. I mean, it isn't the worst pick here for sure. And I like the Poppy pick again as well, but they're going with Hecarim. which is a very wild adaptation. Again, Rift Warriors draft has been completely different than their first one. I'm kind of interesting to see what they pair the Kaisa with. It could technically be any support, of course, or if RAWR is going to choose something that maybe outscales the Ezreal.
Also, I apologize. I realized you were trying to wait for me to speak, and I didn't. What just
We're
happened?
gonna have to update. They didn't pick a champion, but assumedly we're gonna force them to. It is J4 for the last pick of RAWR.
Okay. All right. So I was about to say, I don't think League allows that anymore. Um.
Yeah, we do
So
not force the teams to pick a random champion if they don't pick one. We force them to pick before it goes on, and then like if they continue to do that, there obviously will be something done. But being a few seconds late is not a big deal. Vhagar
okay.
ban
So
again. They
oh,
think it's
but
Vladimir
Nautilus
top
banned
lane,
this time.
right? And they think it's Vladimir top lane. If you're banning Vhagar, you have to assume, right?
Um. Yeah, that's the only thing. Okay, stop. So is this an Annie support?
It's possible. Rift Warriors clearly don't think so if they're banning Nautilus because Nautilus doesn't go anywhere else. And they were banning Annie last time, so they knew where they were banning it for, presumably last time. So I'm gonna go with Rift Warriors scouting and say that it's an Annie mid. Orin ban makes a lot of sense here, but actually it doesn't. Wait. So do you think the Vhagar is a ban for support, or do they think Vladimir's not mid or not top or a flex? Because they've now banned a mid laner and a top laner, presumably, yet they see the Vladimir, so they assume he's going to 1. I guess RAR is saying that Rift Warriors is flexing the Vladimir and they want to ban one of each for top and
Bro, is everybody on blue side trying to mind game each other? Like, what's up? Like,
mid. I think
huh,
that's been very interesting,
Camille?
considering that no one is really on the same page, and it's kind of exciting in a way.
This is
Yeah, Camille
okay.
would also be wild.
So they think this is. So they don't think this is Vladimir top then. So
Maybe they thought Ornn could go mid or jungle. I mean, obviously not jungle because you have the Hecarim, and Ornn jungle is kind of a thing of like a niche pick in the past. So I think that we'll just have to. I mean, maybe you could ask the teams yourself afterwards what was going on in this draft.
okay, so
Pantheon looks to be support, I'm
I was just
assuming,
about to
but
say that's support Pantheon, right? Is it?
you know what? I'm not making any more assumptions. It's a Pantheon, and it'll be somewhere on their team.
I mean,
And yeah,
I mean, if they think that's Annie mid, that could be Pantheon middle. Okay, so that's Pantheon mid then, right?
okay. It looks like the Vladimir might have been a flex pick. They do pick the Pantheon for mid lane or top lane, also technically a flex. And then Rakan's going to be locked in for bot lane. Ezreal Rakan is not a typical lane, but it could work. And now we will see if the Annie is a flex. Remember, the blank champion in the middle there for RAR is J4, which presumably is their jungle. We did see a J4 support last week, but I don't think that's what's being pulled out here. So we'll have to
Yeah,
see if this is a mid laner support here for the last pick.
yeah. Unless that's Camille jungle. When was the last time you saw that?
Anything's possible. Maokai picked means we're really gonna have to wait, I suppose.
All right,
But
whatever,
my
man.
initial guess is that it's my initial guess is that it's Vladimir versus Camille, Hecarim versus J4, uh, Vladimir, or sorry, did I say Vladimir? Or yeah, Pantheon versus Annie, and then Ezreal and Rakan versus Kaisa and Maokai. But we'll have
The
to
only
update you.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, chat. The only thing I know for sure is that Ezreal's bottom, Hecarim's jungle, Kaisa's hopefully bottom, and J4 is hopefully jungle. Like that's all I
I
know. I
feel
can't
like
even say that. All I know is Kaisa's going to the bot lane on the side of Ra. I
I
don't know
don't
where
think
anybody else is going.
I don't think any one person knows where all 10 champions are going. I think both teams were just completely open and confusing each other for both drafts. It's very interesting. We'll have to update you on that.
You know what?
Um,
While we're sitting here waiting for that, I want to be real with you guys. I hope that's an AP Recon mid. I hope they full send it.
I don't think your wish is going to be fulfilled, but let's talk about the matchups that are likely, which is Ezreal Rakan versus Kaisa Maokai. Uh, I don't know if Maokai really wants to be there. I don't play much Maokai support, but it seems like he would not favor being into Ezreal with Khan.
I mean, that's gonna be a it's gonna be a difficult lane for him. I mean, it along with the Ezreal, this can turn quickly into like a Karat type of lane with his little saplings and bushes and everything. But his whole main point is to engage, and Rakan is a slippery bastard, and so is Ezreal. So Maokai can lock down Rakan, or he can
Okay.
lock down Ezreal. He can only lock down one, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No,
But the
I
easier
see.
target for him to lock down is Rakan because
Mm-hmm.
Ezreal can hold his E until after the twisted advance goes off, and then he just E's out. He avoids the knockback and everything else. Um, it's easier
I
for him
am
to get on
curious about the
Rakan.
solo lanes. We are gonna update you on that pretty soon.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
just really like the flex picks that are coming here because it definitely shows that
I
changes
don't.
are. I mean, I don't know if Karma. I don't know if Karma was a flex pick, but this draft for sure, there are some nice flex picks that make it a
I
little
mean,
bit more
is
complicated to
Karma
draft.
top still a thing?
I didn't even consider that, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Wait, no, it's
Ooh.
Karma mid. Stop confusing me. It was Karma mid last game.
No, I was just asking a question. I wasn't saying like Karma's in this guy saying is Karma's top still a thing? Because that is a flex pick then.
Okay, chat was correct. Rift Warriors are putting the Pantheon top lane. It is against the. I'm gonna wait for the locket just to be
It's
sure,
got to be
but it
Camille.
is.
It's got to be Camille.
Stop assuming. Yes, it's Camille top lane. The jungle will
And
presumably be
J4.
J4. We'll
Come
lock that
on.
in a second. I do
It's gonna
like
be
the idea
Maokai.
of
Watch.
Maokai Kaisa in team fights for later in the game, so that makes a lot of sense, even if lane seems a little rough. Pantheon versus Camille, however, I don't know those particulars of that
Yep.
matchup. I feel like that
J4
matchup has
jungle.
not been. I feel like if you look at the percentage of games of Camille versus Pantheon, it's got to be one of the lower percentages of top laners out there that are picked regularly.
I
I
mean,
imagine that.
I don't have statistics, so I cannot answer that question.
Well, I mean, what happens in that lane, right? Camille probably wants to get a little bit later into the game. Pantheon likes to bully early, gets ganks early. I mean, I guess I should stop speculating because I have no idea. It is Annie mid, of course, which means the Maokai is almost certainly going bot lane with the Kaisa. Vladimir is mid, Hecarim jungle, and that means it's Ezreal Rakan bot lane. We're just getting through the last part of the champion select. Oh, Doki has informed me that RAWR is actually considering the Camille support, so it was actually a triple select. My mistake.
These dudes are on another level compared to all the rest of us. My lord.
However, he forgot to inform his team, so they have put the Camille top. Unfortunately, little mistake there of drafting your team the Camille support, and they're like, "No, we're going top lane." But
Some would say that's
yeah.
a sensible decision.
Well, I don't know. It's really who could say? Who could say if Camille support and Maokai top is better than Camille top and Maokai support? Either way, we're gonna have to find out how Camille versus Pantheon goes. We're gonna have to figure out if Maokai can get through the hard laning phase of Ezreal Rakan, and what the heck happens mid lane of Vladimir versus Annie, which is something I haven't seen since like last year. And we'll have to find out in a bit because we are now going to cut for break for the game.
Yeah, she asked for something beautiful. Something beautiful.
that I care, ask do you mean it? It's been months since we've been okay. I'm putting off what's coming. Another night staring at the ceiling. You deserve to be alone, to be the one they're always thinking of. And I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. Admit that I ignored it. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved. Struggling 'cause I'm all you have. You should know that's all in your head. 'Cause it's been weeks and you're not okay. You're putting off what's coming. It's alright to be scared of being lonely. Don't you know that you deserve to be alone? To be the one they're always thinking of. And I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. Admit that I ignored it. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved.
Okay, let's switch Rift Warriors versus RAWR for game 2. Reminder that RAWR did win game 1, even though we only saw a little bit of it. And I'm really interested in the level 1s. This time, once again, RAWR is grouping up like they did last time. However, Rift Warriors is instead opting for the 5 key point. They spot RAWR again. I doubt that Scarlet is going to be in trouble. She could definitely get out. However, RAWR gets a lot better wards this time, so I'm not sure what Zillion is looking for mid lane. Looks like they're just going for the taunt. It looks like Ladyboy is behind him, however. Goes for the W. E-start from J4. And stun. That felt like a petty fadeaway stun from Vrang. Vrang is not going to have the stun up in the beginning of the lane, by the way, which is different than usual. So I think that's really the only major level 1. No, that's not true. Ladyboy also starts W, which is a huge deal for that lane, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
these
it
level
is.
1 implications favor Rift Warrior, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man. Well, I mean, at least Jarvan didn't start something like Q.
Zolomio's going to be a little bit late answering on a ward, but does get the sweep off. I'm not sure if that's entirely worth it, but it's a choice that Zinnial goes for. Islamic coming into lane in an awkward way that gets the bone plating popped immediately.
Yeah, rough. So,
So they should know exactly where
oh,
Zinnial is. By the way, this trade is classic Camille trade where she gets to walk through the menu wave and just do that.
yeah, I forgot that she could do that. Don't see too many
Totally
Camille's
lost.
nowadays.
I'm curious where Jarvan's going to path on these Krugs. You could make an argument that you could cheese the Pantheon. Ryan decides against it, wants to go for a full clear on Jarvan, which is not usual, but respectable. Meanwhile, Zinnial is, they know where Zinnial is. RAWR should be aware of where Zinnial is, but there's not really a play to be made either, so I'm not expecting that to turn anything. The stun forward from Pantheon into the mini wave means that this trade will be kind of favoring Pantheon.
It was even until he got that last spear off. Then it was, yeah, he won that one.
Zinnial actually looking for a gank mid. There's no way that... Oh, is this an invade, actually? I don't like
Yes.
the invade. You do have bot lane coming to you immediately, but you're still versus a Jarvan. Jarvan is going to be able to get directly on you. Annie and Vladimir are not coming. However, the bot lane of RAWR is coming.
Oh,
And the
Annie is
flash
here
forward
though.
from Vrang means that this is first blood for Jarvan, and Zinnial just did not recognize the lane states. Meanwhile, Tyler just gets a solo kill on Camille. Classic.
Huh. I'm gonna be honest right there. Interesting move from Hecarim. Did not respect Annie at all.
There's an argument that maybe you could pull off pressure from your bot lane. It's like a very advanced argument where like, I'll invade your jungle, you'll pull off your bot lane, Ezreal gets to farm for free, and then I'll walk away. However, the problem with that is if Ring has a flash stun, and Ring uses that flash stun, so maybe it wasn't as doomed as it looked like, it just wasn't quite calculated how Ring could influence it.
Yeah, because he didn't respect Annie. Annie
Mhm.
was not in his calculations. That's the issue there. Is if he just said to himself, hey, what if Annie just walks over here? Annie has a stun. I mean, a little is literally the most famous thing about her kit.
This does
Yeah.
mean that Ryan is just going to get a full clear with a kill and then recall, which is not where Draven usually is. 4 minutes into the game, usually he wants to have a gank by now, but I don't think that he's complaining.
And
Any
if
has done
and
up.
if this is right too, he also got a refresh on that red buff of his.
Mhm.
So he's gonna have that for longer too. So that's just icing on the cake there.
So this top lane is completely changed, by the way. Pantheon did get the solo kill onto Camille, and now Camille's pushing in because she has to. Both junglers are in the area, and Krugs are coming up, or Void Grubs are coming up. I'm not sure where this lands.
I mean, looks like Hecarim was just gonna go ahead and is he starting or is he just killing the Scuttle? It looks like he's killing Scuttle.
He's just getting crab right now, and I think that Zenil is pathing away from this top lane. However, he might be aware something's going on. No, he's going for grubs. Camille goes in with the Jarvan, but they're going to be surprised by Hecarim. Actually, the flash up from Tyler, and Hecarim doesn't even bother. He's like, I know
Yeah.
my top laners got this. I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, so he's gonna get those grubs. Jarvan is gonna start heading over there. And
He
Pantheon's
can't
like,
because
nah, man,
Annie
stay right
is
here.
in base. Yeah. He cannot go because Annie's in base. So they decided to pressure Pantheon a little bit more. They are going to go now that Vladimir... Oh my goodness. So they waited so long that Vladimir finishes the recall, but they waited so long that also Zenial finishes the grubs. So at the end of the day, it is grubs for Rift Warriors, a flash for top lane.
Oh man, okay. RAWR is coming out here to play now. Wait. Rift Warriors is blue side this time, correct?
Yes. Rift Warriors, I think that their first level 1 again kind of went against them, but they cleaned it up nicely there where Zenial doesn't even blink whenever he sees his top laner getting ganked and just says, I'm getting grubs, I'm not worried, everything will be fine. Annie going for a bit of a trade here. Ghost comes in, Tibbers comes out, Pantheon ult, however, means that Annie has to back away, gets the stun, and yeah, Brang overcommits. Hecarim's like, I was here too, by the way, still had this. So you were dead to rights. And that was Rang not respecting the back timers of the Pantheon or where Zenial could be.
No. I mean, Pantheon wasn't on the map. I believe he had got pinged out too that he was not in lane. And yeah, like you said, wasn't respecting Pantheon right there. He knew there's communication here, so he knew he was level 6 too. Yeah.
Okay, Ryan looking for a gank here. I think that Ladyboy and Egoist are pushed out, however, so I'm not sure what Ryan's going to do with that information. Looks like go for the Ocean Drake, and Xenol's content to just take the top side for it. I'm not sure if Egoist wants to go in here or just get the Crash. A Crash would be very sensible here. Gets level 6. Camille roaming, by the way, onto a ward, kills it. And yeah, RAWR just accepts the Ocean Drake trade.
I mean, why wouldn't they? It's free Drake, and honestly, they could use this, especially with
I'm not sure if Scarlet's willing to accept it though. She goes for a ward just to see them, but now Maokai's behind her. Yeah, she has to back off. I mean, they knew that the dragon was done, so I'm not sure what she was checking for, but however, Ladyboy is able to get some deep wards into Xenol's jungle, and in fact is going for some kind of... I'm not sure if he's just playing saplings. Yeah, just saplings. And an all-in onto Xenol. However, Xenol sweeps out the ward. Jarvan's in the area. Xenol is not aware. Gets W'd on. Annie's here as well. No flash, but it doesn't matter because Jarvan comes in for the kill. Brang gets that kill. And that was beautifully set up by Ladyboy. I mean, It was 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna ward your entire jungle side. I'm gonna put a sapling here. I know that they're coming, and Zenol walks right into it.
Yeah, I'll give him that. That was a good play. It was hilarious. I had to chuckle there. But yeah. So that's just another kill. That's just a kill from
Pantheon,
any
however,
ends of the
is going
board.
on a Camille. There's no follow-up though, so it doesn't really threaten her. Just means that she has to back, and no teleport while the wave's pushing out. Tyler doesn't even let the wave push out to set up a freeze. He instead wants to pressure the tower with the Hecarim coming up.
Let's
Hecarim
see where
invades.
this
Oh,
goes.
the stun comes out the instant that the pool stops. Jarvan's here too. Vladimir flashes out, however, Zenol comes to cover his mid laner. Not able to get the counter jungle that maybe he wanted, but certainly saves his mid laner. Now Pantheon's coming down. Camille's too low to help. Has to farm at a tower, and it fizzles out to nothing. However, Khan's here. Just to make sure everything goes okay. She's just like, you know, making sure everyone gets back safe. Vladimir's able to farm because of it. Ezreal goes in on Egoist. 1v1.
Oh man, this fight is not as interesting as anything we were watching earlier. I don't know why. But
Okay,
yeah,
both supports
Vladimir.
are...
I just want to say Vladimir got out of that with a brilliant use of his phase rush. He hit all three abilities, then just flashed out.
Notice that Scarlet roaming right there means that she has to go back to lane soon now, and Maokai, counterpoint Ladyboy, is on the grubs with his jungler. So that will be the grubs going over to RAWR this time, 3 for 3 for both teams.
Yep, completely denying the buff from anybody.
Let's see
The
if
void
Egoist
link
plays
buff.
around the roam better this time, however. She has to be aware that Rakan is coming back soon. Maokai's just recalling now. She's still pushing, however, which is definitely questionable. Rakan's here. Looks like she's going to be safe, so it's not a big deal. I don't think Rakan wanted to go for an R flash.
I mean, he could have, but he didn't because he's a coward.
Well, the other thing is that this is still pushing out, right? Like, they decide to pressure a little bit. Scarlet is pushing off the Callista, or the Kaisa. I'm not sure how this lane state is going to end up. Maokai will be here eventually. Both junglers on this side.
I mean, doesn't look like anything's gonna happen until these junglers start moving down. But it looks like Jarvan's gonna go ahead and head back towards mid lane. Actually,
It has
oh
to
no,
be
he's getting
pointed
the
out that
crab. He's getting the
it's
crab.
tier 2 boots for Kaisa and Sheen for Ezreal. So Scarlet goes in. She gets the
Oh.
cleanse out of Kaisa. Hecarim's here first. Jarvan's on the way. The teleport comes through. Hecarim ult whiffs because of the flash. Scarlet's getting out. She gets jumped on. Ezreal flashes out. Scarlet goes down. They use Islamic's TP for that, but they do get the kill onto Scarlet.
Yeah, they do.
Maokai ult just to make sure the tower gets damaged.
Zoning ultimates.
They actually might look out for
Never mind,
the
they're gonna
Kaisa
keep going for
ult's in. Ezreal is stuck and cannot move and dies between two towers. Meanwhile, Pantheon is getting a lot of free time under that top tower, but dying underneath your second and first tower as Ezreal must feel really bad.
I mean,
Oh, and he flashes in, gets the RQ. No time for pull, and Brain gets a solo kill on Icarus.
Actually, I think the pull was down. He had used it earlier to dodge a Q, so he was just in a bad position. But he did not want that man to ghost out of it. Now Hecarim's here in his lane, no?
Oh my!
So
He
no
can't
free
even
tower.
cover the wave. He's at 1 health. Tibbers is looking. Frank doesn't have the mana to follow up or the summoners, so it's not going to end anywhere. But that was definitely a dangerous cover from him.
Oh man. Okay. Well. In another world, he had 50 more mana, so he could cast that last Q and get that kill. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world.
You want to see the Hecarim suffer?
Well, I mean, I don't want to see him suffer, but I mean, he's already suffering. Me and you both saw what happened.
Scarlet's in a bit of
lane.
trouble here, by the way. Luckily, Sangisha is opting to be close enough that the E can come through, and that just entirely saved her. Sangisha having the foresight to be in that corner.
Yeah, it's also a started dragging though for RAWR, and they're gonna pick this up because there's no chance they don't. Ezreal Ultimate comes in just to say hi, not really doing anything with some minions on the way out. Man,
Is Icarus in trouble here?
I
don't think so,
thought
but...
so. No, everybody left.
Okay.
I thought that was going the way you
This
were
is a
thinking
really
it was
good
too.
lane game, by the way. They think the Hecarim must be counter jungling or cross mapping, but it didn't come on Camille yet, so maybe had been recalled or got the top side. However, actually, Xenial is sitting here waiting for Camille to walk forward or make a bad trade.
He has to kill her, by the way. He has
All right,
committed too much
dive
time.
coming out. Scarlet going for gets the bait onto Ladyboy. Just a tower shot, so it's not actually ending up as anything. They get top tower in the top lane with that play, and he gets this trade that looks pretty good. The stun comes out with Tibbers, and the pool is going to be not. Oh, it is going to be enough. He comes back for the greediest Q. Maokai ult coming out of tower again. By the way, again Ezreal gets rooted. Again Kaisa ults, and Jarvan gets the snuck up, and Kaisa gets the kill. And that is the second time in about 5 minutes we've seen Singisha die between first and second tower.
Ah man, if I was in Geisha, I would go ahead and invest in them tier 2 boots, dog. It might do you some good. You are not getting enough distance before or after you E-fam with this Maokai ultimate. They've done it to you twice now. I think they're gonna keep
Annie is
doing it.
greeting because she doesn't care that Pantheon and Necrom are here, and it doesn't matter. Pantheon flashes in to try to save Vladimir, does not happen. He might not even get the kill onto Annie because of the ghost saves her. And Vring says, yes, you have 3 people in the area. I don't care. Vladimir is dead.
Well, Annie is proving to be the monster that she was designed to be. This is unsurprising. What is surprising, though, is the boldness to do that, as you said, in 3 people's faces. One of them, probably the most dangerous guy on the other team, which is Pantheon, if anyone was curious. It's Pantheon. And not just because of his score, it's literally like his kit is he's just the most dangerous person to Annie, probably. Oh, and speaking of scores, it's 2-7, guys. I don't need to explain to you where.
Oh, Kaisa's evolving in the wrong spot. Pantheon jumps on top of her. She ease away. Rakan is on the chase, misses everything, but the Ignite cannot miss the cleanse. Stops it. And Egoist lives on 1 health.
That was. Yo, you just tried to a dubstep Ignite that man, and it just completely failed. All right. I didn't even remember Kaisa had cleanse. Did you?
I was expecting it to kill for sure, but Scarlet unfortunately does not land the W or the Q. And it just, I mean, it was a misplay from both sides, obviously. Egoist should not be leveling up an ability in Fog of War next to where Pantheon could technically be. But it ends up working out okay.
Yeah. I mean, the only summoner spell he busted was the one that could probably save his life later on.
We'll have to see if the cleanse not being up later matters, but it was definitely terrifying from both sides.
That's why you don't fade away Ignite. Just do the last hit. You should have just took the last hit. Who was he scared of in that situation? Maokai?
I think that she didn't have anything left because she couldn't run forward. No W, no Q. She didn't really have an option to try to do anything but Ignite.
All right, I mean,
Ezreal ease forward. Egoist again playing with fire. 1v2, no cleanse, and it just doesn't matter. Rakan's at half health.
I think.
Oh, but Sangisha's making it really close.
Wow.
Now Kai's coming down. The damage is intense. Kaisa ults out of Rakan, flash for flash. Rakan is trying to get there, but she can't make it. And Egoist gets the double kill.
Bro, no. I ain't just watched that. I ain't just watched it happen. What do you
did indeed.
What do you do what do you do as Ezreal and Rakan? What do you tell your team there? Like, do you just say FF?
Oh, the ultimate comes out. Tibbers, Icarus is able to pull away, but Rang does not care about the tower. Flashes forward and gets a kill as well. And the entire side of Rift Warriors is falling apart.
Bro, okay. I mean, I'm not even gonna say, I can't say anything about that. You can't say anything about that. I can't say anything about that. That's just what Annie does. It sucks it's happened to Vladimir, but it will happen to everybody, to be honest with you. That's what she does.
It's
still
just
stuck
these
on
minor
but Pantheon's here.
However, stun comes out. Pantheon has no way to chase, no ghost, no flash.
It's
gonna be a long one, however.
No, he has
That's
tier
true.
1 boots. He's not
Kaisa and Jarvan are pathing away though because they know that it's not going to be a real play. Islamic picks up the free Rift Herald. The dragon is fully in the control of RAWR. However, Rift Warriors want to make a play for mid, but RAWR doesn't want to even give that much up. So Scarlet is going to fall here just for a teleport, and it's going to be a dragon for RAWR.
I have not seen Scarlet hit 8W on anyone. That's not a joke. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even trying to be funny right now. I haven't seen that W land on a single person. Everyone has either sidestepped it or just canceled it. Like
She has
I would
unfortunately
feel,
been a bit short
yeah,
in
I
the key
feel so
plays.
bad because honestly, Scarlett is trying to make the plays for the team, but every time they go in, they just get
And it's by
denied.
inches. It is by inches. It has to be said that like none of these plays were blowout per se. Just one more skill shot landing, one more auto attack, and maybe it goes the right way. But she just isn't able to close it out. And you know each one adds upon itself. Maybe the first one was really close, but the second one only went wrong because the first one went wrong. And it's gotta hurt your mental too, which is another factor that isn't affected or isn't shown by the scoreboard. Icarus
Yep,
getting ulted
and
by a jungler, by the way, by the self. Camille is here, however, flash out, but the R follow from Islamic is perfect, and there's nowhere for Icarus to go.
man, I guess we just can't let Vladimir have none, huh?
I mean, you've got to imagine in Rift Warriors, the entire playmaking ability is now around Pantheon. And following that, that's the reason why Rakan is top lane. However, Jarvan is bullying Zainal in his own jungle. Maokai ult comes out.
Oh,
They might not want this. Pantheon gets the flash. Kaisa R's in to get the support, and Scarlet goes down. And Tyler just has to watch it happen.
to be fair, Pantheon flashed away from that Maokai ultimate to let Scarlet take that hit for him. That was funny.
I mean,
Um,
at some point, you gotta hope that the Pantheon living was better than Pantheon dying whenever that's the only lead you have. Ezreal is just bullying Ryan here. I don't think Icarus can hold this tower, by the way. The Q second kills the tower. Islamic just leaves rather than try to fight. The second tower is also going down, so both top and bot tower are going down. Zenol comes in with the Pantheon ult, but he gets stopped entirely by Maokai. Pantheon's going down here.
I mean, what can you say here, guys? This seems like it's a victory for RAWR.
It definitely isn't as close as last game looked to be.
Yep.
The only thing going for Rift Warrior is that it's Cloud Drake, I guess, and that they have some scaling in Vladimir. The engage comes in through here, but it's not enough. Scarlet goes down. Icarus also goes down with no ability. Wait, no, actually, yeah, Islamic comes in a little bit deep. This might be a shutdown. It's not even a shutdown. Ladyboy's going forward. The stun comes forward. Ryan gets another kill. Pantheon's finally here, maybe to pick up some kind of shutdown, but it's not happening as Linda goes down. The shutdown
We
finally
got
does
one
come through for
on
Tyler,
the fadeaway.
but it comes at the expense of the entire rest of his team and a top lane inhibitor.
Listen, but the fadeaway spear though.
I think this is going to be a fade away from base into Baron, though, and that's a little bit more dangerous. Decide not to go for it because the jungler's down, of course. It'd probably be a little bit extreme to go for that. They just go settle for a blue buff.
Yeah, especially with Hecarim, it does still have smite. If despite everything, he just has smite, and he's Hecarim. He's gonna be that Baron in a second. So smart play.
Yeah, and
to
there's
just
no
hold
reason
on.
to. I mean, yeah, it would have been a little silly to go for Baron. I was just a little hyped up from the pun. But Soul is spawning. It is just Cloud Soul, but you're still happy to take it. I can't see any world where Rift Warriors is able to contest. I'm not sure what they want to do cross map.
Well, you say that, but then they're all here. Got a minute on it. I don't see anything else they can do here. Unless they want to try to take
Kaisa
Baron.
comes in, gets the flash out of Ezreal, still going forward. Not going to turn into anything, just a show of force. I can R and make your 80 carry flash at any time by myself. And
Remember when I 2v1 them? Remember when I 2v1 this AD and support?
I don't think that Scarlet has forgotten yet.
I mean,
So
I
no,
had less
on the
items
opposite
than
side of Ladyboy, this is kind of a weird flank, but the ultimate is just to
no.
delay the death. Pool comes in at full health. Pantheon's finally here. The Kaisa is able to ult out to get the Ladyboy support. Teleport coming in on everybody. Camille's going to try to get the Pantheon. Doesn't manage to do it. Annie, however, finishes the job. Everyone's going down. Kaisa's finally going to be able to clean up. And it's a 5 for 2. I mean, it was the
So
best fight that uh, Rift Warriors could hope for. Honestly, it looked pretty good. The flank was great. They kind of got the Camille where they wanted her, but Kaisa was still able to free fire at the end of the day, and Annie still was able to do anything.
listen,
And
all I
I
did,
think that's going to
I
be
just found out a new interaction which I enjoyed, which was apparently if you get knocked into Maokai stun twice again, it'll stun you twice. I know you saw that. I don't know whose death that was. I forget, but they got knocked. They got hit with the stun, and then they got knocked over that wall, and then got hit with it, and it killed them again. I think that was Hecarim. Oh man, that was great.
yeah. I mean, there's not much to say about the end of that
No, it's
game. It
only,
was
you you can say a lot. There's nothing nice to say. That's what you meant to say. There's
no. I
nothing
mean,
nice to say.
I think that there were a few things that could have gone better at the beginning,
Obviously,
and then once they didn't go well, the game was pretty much over. I think that the pathing from Hackerum was suspect, and that kind of snowballed the game for every lane. I think that really, for moving forward, there has to be some kind of discussion about what the level one should look like, or what the Hackerum pathing should look like for the beginning.
yeah, I agree.
But
I agree. I mean,
a
hey,
lot of
listen,
that,
strong showing from Pantheon, by the way, in the early game. He was handling business. All right, and
I think that also a lot of it is just like, I mean, it was very close. A lot of the fights against Kaisa, like you saw her escape with one health a few times. Those aren't necessarily like mistakes or wrong plays or things that you can really change immediately, or like a wrong decision. Is just a summation of a lot of things. And I think that you kind of have to wipe it away and prepare for next game where you're not going to be down that much gold pretty early on.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm wondering what's the play here for these guys. What's the game three? Um, what do they fix here? Because I thought they looked pretty decent. I won't say solid. They look decent going in, and I honestly can't tell you where it all fell apart. I mean, probably that Hecarim thing that didn't help the situation, but I can't tell you where it all fell apart. Because it
I
seemed like just
think that
1 minute everybody was laning, like even Vladimir was doing good against Annie, and then just like someone pressed the go button for RAWR, and then suddenly everything fell apart.
you have to change one of two things. Either you pick a stronger mid laner because Vladimir is not going to be that strong in lane usually, or you change how aggressive your jungler is playing because both games Zainul has picked fights against the enemy jungler, and that time it was clear that Vladimir versus Annie's always going to be there first. So either you pick a better mid laner for that kind of situation, or you tell Xenial to play around having a Vladimir. And I think that almost fixes the entirety of the problem with the bot side of the map for the first few minutes.
I mean, yeah. So, you think any band changes are going to come through here on the side of
I
RAWR?
imagine they don't pick Ezreal. I could be wrong. I still think you need to ban Blitzcrank. And I think you just pick differently. I'm not sure that it's a ban issue. I'm not sure that anything we were shown here was really, oh, we can't play against that champion. More so, we need to draft a champion pool that we can play around, both in terms of their strengths and weaknesses, but also maybe just how they lane as well.
Hmm. I mean, you're right. I can't
And it
argue
has
with
to
you,
be
so
said
I just
that
can only agree with you.
Tyler did well in lane in both games. So if possible, if you want Xenol to play that aggressive, path him towards the top lane. Pick a champion that really synergizes well between top and jungle and play around the top lane. And I think that gives them another great chance to come back in this match.
That is true because he has spent a lot of time. He has spent more time around mid than he does top, which is crazy because just from what I've seen these last two games, like you said, Tyler seems to be the playmaker here.
I
Like,
don't think it's necessarily that Tyler's the playmaker, although he has done well in both games. It's also the champion pool that they've picked for themselves, right? Vladimir isn't really someone that you want to be relying on whenever you're invading the enemy team. you also don't necessarily want to be relying on the Kaisa or the Ezreal Rakan whenever Kaisa Maokai got the push in early. So like maybe it's not a player thing, maybe it's a champion thing, but you absolutely should be playing to your strengths that you've drafted for yourself.
True, true, true. Well, all right then. Let's hope they can do. Let's hope they can pull it together then for the next game. We're of course just waiting for draft, guys. So once we get that pulled up, we'll talk about the picks they pick.
I
But
am glad that we got to see a Nexus explode this time. Let it be said for that amount. That was nice.
oh yeah, that was great.
And hoping that it continues for game 3. It is about block
Same.
3 for all of our leagues, correct? It's not just
No, it's
uh
all of them. All of them are block
yep.
3 blocks.
So there will be a game 3 despite the 2-0. And hopefully Rift Warriors can show some adaptation because I mean, I like the draft adaptation from game 1 to game 2, but they really need to follow it through with something that can both counter what RAWR has shown, but also improve upon how they've dealt with the early level.
All right. I think that. Excuse me. Sorry, I got
I know
distracted by something I was looking at.
yeah, I mean, the draft can't really change that much, right? For bans because you need to ban the Blitzcrank, and Karma probably gets up there as well. But
Stop. Hold on. Do you need to blame Blitzcrank?
yes, you need to ban the Blitzcrank. I don't think that's debatable.
I think it is.
Okay, I mean, what counter do you
I think
expect
that's.
to pick into the Blitzcrank, given that you played
Ooh.
Ezreal
Oh
for
wait.
Rift Warrior?
Wait. I'm sorry. Is the prerequisite here that I have to pick Ezreal?
No, it's just that um, it's just that assuming that you picked Ezreal into Blitzcrank, the lane still didn't go well. How are you going to deal with the Blitzcrank if you don't ban it?
All right, you win.
So you have to ban Ezreal. Or Ezreal,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
You have to ban Blitzcrank. I think you want to change the mid lane pick or change the jungle trajectory. And maybe you change the Ezreal and you hope that's enough to maybe change something. I think that picking Ezreal whenever you showed that you couldn't quite really exert the pressure on either game might be a mistake. Not necessarily because of the Ezreal player, but just because the duo isn't able to play the aggressive part against the enemy RAR duo. So maybe you pick something more scaling. We are getting into drafts, by the way. Rift Warriors have gone blue side again, banned the Blitzcrank, which is advised. Volibear ban. I don't think the RAR is changing their bans, by the way, for the first 3. So if that is true, it's going to be Volibear, Syndra, Varus. Volibear has already come out. Samira banned for Rift Warriors. Makes sense. You probably don't want to be playing scaling into that if you ban that. Syndra comes out again for RAR. So I can tell you with almost certainty that the Varus is going to be the 3rd ban. And I really want to see Rift Warriors play around the top lane.
I mean, after what you just said, yeah, I agree. I do want to see that. I mean, it seems like
Any
it'd be the
bans
best
means that
option.
Karma's up. I'm wondering if Rift Warriors are going to try to deny the Karma by picking it, or if they say that Karma is give me Karma before they give me Annie. RAR, however, supersedes that and says, actually, we might not want a Varus ban. I don't want to see you play Karma either. Which makes sense because maybe the Ezreal Karma is the secret ingredient that Singricio needed to win the lane. So Karma ban comes out. Varus is open, however, which has not been true for the previous 2 games. I'm curious if Rift Warriors will pick up that.
That's true. Varus
They
was
picked the
not picked.
Ashe. Okay, so they picked the Ashe despite the Varus being open. And RAR is like, well, if you're not going to play Varus, maybe we should. Which is a very different lane dynamic. I don't think that Ashe Varus is at all similar to any of the other bot lanes we've seen so far. So I'm curious if Singricio and Scarlet can really pick it up here.
See, you're hoping for that. I'm hoping for support Ashe.
No, either way, regardless of if Ashe is AD carry or support, the lane is completely different from what we've seen because the supports before were Rakan and let me look at the draft. I was gonna finish the sentence.
Ezra?
Before Seraphine. And I guess you could say it's a little bit like the Seraphine, but I don't expect to see Ash Ezreal here, even if it is Ash support.
No, it's
Okay.
Ash Seraphine. It's Ash
I
Seraphine.
like Scarlet on the Seraphine, so I don't hate this pick.
I think this is gonna be a great game, though.
The other thing that I like about Ash Seraphine is that it takes a lot of pressure off your bot lane. Whenever you're playing Ezreal with any support, you really need your bot lane to perform. But something like Ash Seraphine, they can be, 0 kills down on CS and they still press R just as well.
Yeah, about to say they don't have to get big. They just have to know how to press one button.
Hmm.
I'll give Seraphine two buttons just because the E stun. No W. I'll give her a W. I think her W is more important. I'll give her two buttons. She has to press two buttons.
Oh, this would be
And they tease
interesting.
us with Pantheon, but it looks like it's gonna be Lilia.
Lilia is interesting because the bot lane here showing with Lilia means a lot. I mean, just for team fight purposes, like you are really scared of every skill shot coming down the lane, but it also leaves a lot of magical damage on your team because, well, I think with the new 80 carry items, Ash does a lot of damage now. But if you pick an AP mid laner, you might still be a little bit worried, and it leaves your top lane open to bans. And there's one right now, Vladimir, which again could have been a flex. I'm actually surprised they banned the Vladimir. I guess their only counter for it was Annie.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't he he got dumpstered by Annie, but he wasn't playing Vladimir badly. I feel like that was any other matchup he would have probably excelled.
It is interesting though because they're leaving the top lane picks open. They didn't want to ban Ornn and Pantheon, which means that either they think they have a better matchup of it. They do ban Ornn. They either have a better matchup for Pantheon in mind, or they just think that they can outplay Tyler on his best champion.
I mean, did you say somebody had a lot of Garen games?
Yes, I will look that up right now. My memory is not amazing at that.
I'm just saying, it's a game three. We could see the Garen come through, just like Kitman. Oh, and
uh,
okay, they switched to Gwen at the last second. It was a Mordekaiser, but then they switched to Gwen. Okay, so interesting that one there.
mhm.
That makes sense. You don't want Gwen just saying no to Ash's arrow.
Has Tyler been forced to blind pick yet? I don't think he has. Um, let's see. No, he has because they thought it might have been Udyr top, but they picked the Ornn into it in game one.
And then speaking of Udyr,
And they,
he's
I'm
back.
totally. They had to blind pick both games. Udyr here could be a flex, probably not though because of the Maokai and Milio, which means it is actually Udyr top lane potentially, or Maokai top lane. Sorry, it is a flex. But that means the Pantheon probably knows what he's going into. Some kind of melee CC person. Maokai and Udyr are obviously very different, but Tyler's still willing to play Pantheon into it.
All right, let him play his mans, okay? I mean, looks like he knows what he's doing. Also, adding on a Pantheon Ultimate already to like Ash, Lily, and Seraphine is crazy.
Yes, and Lilia's another aggressive jungler similar to. Whoa.
And
Okay,
then
so
hold on, is this real? Yeah, it
yeah,
is real.
this is real. It is Corki mid, presumably, which means that once again, Zeiss will have to play around a weak mid lane.
All right, so there's mid laner loves scaling. I'm gonna say
Sure,
it right
which is
now.
fine, but there has to be some kind of coordination where Lilia plays around the Pantheon and not the bot side of the map.
Also, um, I understand Corki is hybrid damage,
He
but
can be, yeah.
I don't know. Still kind of seeming like I'm just saying this is a real. I like you said, the new items can let Ash do a lot of damage, but it still feels like maybe there's a lot of AP damage on this team right now.
I wouldn't worry about it too much because Udyr isn't going to stack MR most likely. Maybe Maokai does, but even then, yes, you have the Ashe, you have the Corki physical damage, and you have the Pantheon physical damage. So for the top laner to stack MR, they have to stack MR and then lane into a Pantheon, which sounds like a disaster. I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to be that big of an issue here.
Just some I thought to bring up. But
Hmm.
yeah. So these are the picks. These are gonna be the picks for the last game, guys. Last game of tonight. Last game of tonight. Not last game ever, but last game of tonight.
I'm really
That-
excited to see if the bot lane can play a little bit safer here for Rift Warriors, and I'm curious to see if Tyler can continue his streak of crushing, and maybe Xennial will be able to play around the top lane.
and if they don't, or most likely won't, they'll just lose. But
I think it's possible where you have Ashe Seraphine, you can maybe support a better, more aggressive level 1, especially since RAR has been getting the better hand of all these level 1s, really. I maybe there could be a world where Rift Warriors is able to get a good level 1 pathing regardless of playing around bot lane. I'm really curious to see like also how the team fights go, just because yeah, Rift Warriors has the press R button comp is very clear that they want to be engaging these AoE non-stop damage kind of comps, but they have Milio and RAR, so it's not as clear as it normally would be, right? You Ash Arrow someone, usually they're dead, but you Ash Arrow someone, send the Seraphine ult, which is very slow through. Milio R's that person, and they just flash out or walk out, and it's not as beautiful as it usually looks.
I mean, but it's a cool thing to see though. You
Right.
know, that someone just walks out of all this effort that everybody else has put in.
Yeah, and
But
the Udyr split push is also going to be kind of difficult to deal with, I think. We'll have to just refer to whether it's Maokai or Udyr top. I think it is Udyr top, but we'll know for sure in about a minute.
I mean,
And
with
yeah,
the split push, don't they just always send Pantheon?
yes, but if Pantheon doesn't get the lead that he had before, it's a little bit scarier to play into that because you don't have the 2v2 potential. Or Maokai could come up with an ultimate, and yeah, Pantheon can beat Udyr 1v1 maybe every day, but Maokai R just shows up and suddenly he's in a lot of trouble.
Well, well, hopefully that doesn't happen here. I mean, could, but I feel like if that
Okay, so
does
I was wrong.
happen, they can
It
always
is it is
what?
Maokai top lane, Udyr jungle, which completely changes the dynamic of the lane, obviously, but also for later in the game, Udyr's not going to be quite the threat that he was going to be otherwise with the split push threat. Maokai is going to be the one with TP, and Maokai might not. I mean, you want your Maokai, for example, to press R to engage a fight like last time whenever he was support, but this time he's the one with teleport. Maybe he's matching a Pantheon, and there's not going to be that early R button start.
Huh? Well, if that is the case, then does that actually change anything too much?
I think it changes the potential for Pantheon to get a little overwhelmed in the top lane late game split push because there won't be a flanking Maokai behind him. Instead, there'll be a flanking Udyr behind him, and Maokai's ult is a little bit more telegraphed. But other than that, not really, no.
Eh, all right then. Well, still, I am excited to see how this one goes. Actually,
Just
this
for the
yeah.
number one thing to keep track of for the first 4 minutes of the game is where this Lilia goes and where Zilniel plays aggressively and where he maybe backs off from a play where Corki cannot support him.
You mean Pantheon or Corky? You think?
Uh, Specifically, Zilniel played a lot around the Vladimir whenever Vladimir absolutely could not stop the Annie from coming. And if he does that again, Quirky will not be, just like the Vladimir, will not be able to stop the Victor from coming, and that will end in disaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's what I meant. I was hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't do that. It hasn't worked out, so I hope like he stops hanging around like the mid lane. I mean, honestly, you just kind of want to let Corky, build up and let
I
him get
fully expect
experience.
RAR to continue their path of stacking S5 because just getting information on Xanil has proven to be exemplary in their path towards winning the game. Knowing where Xanil starts gives them the upper hand in the fights that happen afterwards. And
I mean,
we'll
yeah,
have to,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's been working this whole time.
yeah, it is a little bit harder because you've got talking about Ash Seraphine. It's a lot harder to invade Pantheon as well, technically. So we'll see if they do it, but we'll have to see after a break because we're going to get into the game shortly.
Tell me, is it clear that I still wanna be? I see you denying when I know that I made it clear. I want you to know that I'll be close through the darkest when the sky is getting bright. I'll hold you and never let you go when you're falling. I'll be closer.
Our relationships will often end in disgust, and I know you want my love, but there's nothing to discuss. I don't need you in my life no more. I don't need you in my life no more. I got no money, it's getting sunny, but I still feel cold. I've been nose running, you funny, you going I told my people I would make it out. What? Not the time just to go around. What a word, you think it's safe and sound. What? Might as well just burn it down. It's always when I'm time inside my mind, I find it hard to bury. Cause it gets cold and blurry. Yeah, it gets cold and blurry. She took my heart and then discarded all the evidence. All of her actions were a clear case of malevolence. I got no money, it's getting sunny, but I still feel cold. I've been nose running, you funny, you
Thought that you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break my signs every time. Let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. 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 I want. Hear me now. I do what I want. Are you ready
I've seen enough things to lose hope. And here I am still going. I am even stronger now. Evil is looking around you. And maybe I'm mistaken. You know I'm feeling alright. Like something on my face, something in my veins. Still hurts. And I don't know what it takes. Don't know what it takes to move on. The more that I've done, the less I become. I just live forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on. And then we'll become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all. Nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then we'll become just nothing at all. We've seen all the words of ourselves just to know what it meant, so you took it away. Didn't touch where we connected, just like I'm gonna forget it tonight is done. There's something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. Something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. Something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. The more that I've done, the less I become. I just live forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on. And then we'll become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all. Nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then we'll become just nothing at all.
of things to lose hope. And here I am still growing. I am even stronger now.
All right, there's a lot of information to cover very, very quickly. We're switching teams. We're switching games entirely. It is going to be Conduit Blackout versus Dynasty Starweavers. This is game 3. We're starting 6 minutes in. So everyone will be different here. This is an entirely different set of 10 players. And the draft is obviously different as well. But we're going to try to at least bring coverage of one of the game 3s, even though we couldn't bring the other one. We'll obviously update you with the score later. And let's talk about this game as it is. 1 dragon for Conduit, a little bit of a gold lead, and a 3-0 Ezreal.
Huh. That's a definitely different from the edge I was gonna say tonight.
Yeah, I would say that it does look a little bit different. Teleport as well for the Ezreal, which is really interesting. Maokai Ezreal is a nice little lane.
Also, guys,
into
they have a Riven and a
Pacific Armor.
Brand in this game. This is nice.
Yeah, it's definitely very different than what we have been seeing. This is still Crusader League, Emerald League. Just 2 different teams. I think Karma is in a little bit of trouble here, is able to walk out, but Brand is looking for the dive as a Brand jungle. Probably not going to do anything because Kendra's in the area, swats it out, decides to back off. And yeah, Levy and Weez are having some fun up there, for sure.
Just for clarity, that it would be the Trundle and the Riven guys.
Yes.
All right, so, yeah, but I don't know these guys, so I have nothing to say about. And we didn't watch previous games. We have no idea how they've done so far. I don't believe. So
Yeah, but just to like catch up some other things, right? Syndra has died. It looks like it was a kill to the Ezreal, so that was probably level 1. The farm, however, is in favor of Golden for the Syndra. The farm is heavily in favor of Levy as well on Riven. So other than the bot lane, it actually looks like Dynasty is in a strong position in the top side of the map. However, this
hold
Ignite may
on.
have something to say about it. Flash for Flash, and Weez gets a soul kill just as I say that. So the CS lead doesn't mean anything, because longsword versus pickaxe is not that much of a difference. And Riven goes down.
Huh. Wow, he just kind of said, "Nah, I'm done here. I'm done with you in this lane," and made sure she had to go back.
And
That was
Jordan
interesting.
and Pike both have both have 0 kill participation. So you have to wonder what lanes are they going to try to play around now that both bot lane and top lane are heavily in favor of Conduit.
I mean, we're seeing both junglers topside. Whether that's
Yeah, it
because
looks
they're trying to get the, I'm not sure if the grubs have been taken yet. Is that what
this
Brand is
will
doing?
be taken now, and then we'll have to tell based on the timer as well if they respawn again or not.
So
Meanwhile, Syndra is getting a nice little push here. I'm not sure if Lux will be in time to catch that wave. So yes, Figgy is able to get the grubs for her team, which is the winning team, which is nice. But she didn't have the same advantage the top and bot have, so Figgy's giving up a bit against Golden here. I and also it looks like a plate as well. I'm not sure if Golden was able to pick up that plate in gold. Given the gold disadvantage staying the same, I'm imagining that Golden didn't pick it up, so that's not a big deal. But the wave is still lost.
Yeah, the wave is what do you say it was? You said it was lost?
Yeah. Figgy moved up. That meant that Cinder got the crash in. However, Figgy gets gets the counter crash in as well, and Golden was not there in time. The counter jungle from Kindred is going to make some sparks. However, Brand's going to be extremely late to this. I think that Jordan gets in and out for free, especially since Syndra is
There
pushed
are
in.
pings going out on that
But
area.
there's about to be fireworks for sure. Yeah, okay. Jordan just leaves, so not a big deal. Um, and now I'm changing my prediction that sparks will fly around the dragon, not the raptors.
I mean, you see, it was a simple mistake. You were just a couple feet up. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mountain
Although
Drake is up,
top lane fight
and
here is pretty big. I mean, yes, it doesn't look like anything happened. That is 6 for blue side, by the way, because those did spawn. So
yep.
clearly, Conduit have all 6 Gromps. And this is a huge crash and a huge timing. It means that Trundle can look to walk down while he doesn't have teleport, and Levy does. It does mean that it might still be a fight for the dragon. Kindred's not here. The teleport comes out from Cinder, however, but it's just a diffusal teleport because there's no way that now Conduit is going to go in on that. So all the
Three
teleport
man
does, yeah, I mean, 3-man stun, but all it does is just prevent the play from happening. Kindred is on the top side, however, so Dynasty is making a play here, despite the teleport bot lane, and they kill Wheeze. This will signal to Conduit, however, that they want the dragon, because they just saw teleport used, and they just saw Kindred top lane. Maokai goes to 1, however. Syndra flashes away from the R, and the Luxar is able to pick up Illicit. Which is interesting that even Dynasty were even fighting that. They almost got rewarded for it by picking up the support of Conduit, but they weren't quite able to capitalize. Instead, lose one in a fight they had no business being in. Meanwhile, Sivir has to flash because but Ezreal's in trouble too. Also has to flash, and it's just like fights that shouldn't be happening, but absolutely are, and going crazy. The brand stun. I don't think that he has the damage to finish off on Golden. Yeah, everyone's just not giving up without a fight, I guess.
yeah.
Karma's not even giving up. Goes on to the brand to make sure that there's no deep ward placed, I guess. It doesn't really do anything, but it looked cool. Actually, it does mean that Illicit's able, or I guess it was just also Illicit wanted to stay to catch the wave because Aqua couldn't. So I don't think it's like, the worst play, but.
Yeah. Sorry, you said something, but I can't. I'm not gonna repeat it. Anyway, the point is, I guess a point we should make is earlier Kindred and them. Kindred was up top, by the way, when that fight started, and didn't go anywhere near it while it was going on. And I'm pretty sure that's why they were able to pick up that dragon, even
Ezreal
though
goes
they
in onto Sivir here, but Karma's
has no
in the
fear.
way. Yeah. Just a little bit of an aggressive play to make sure keeping Karma honest.
He has to force Karma to respect the fact that he will kill Sivir. I love it. Meanwhile, Riven is being Riven.
Yeah, I mean, the top lane looks as if there was no solo kill there. Just because of the kill back, I mean, they are just as aggressive as always.
Yep, I think. And then Riven does have the full eclipse too. I think this got a lot harder for Trundle here.
Both junglers are pathing towards bot side despite the Herald being up, which is kind of an inversion from what you would expect. So I'm curious how the bot lanes play it. They both think the jungler's on their side and not the enemy. However, that ward is there to potentially spot out Brand if he goes for a lane gank. But he's going through the bush. They see Kindred because she sweeps the ward, so now only Conduit knows about this play. But it diffuses anyways because Kindred walks away. They actually think Kindred's still there, despite Kindred moving on to try to counter jungle. Finds nothing, and both junglers are kind of passing each other in the night.
And
Ezreal going in again has no respect because Maokai is here from the flank. Karma has to flash, but there's no such recourse for Sivir. And even the flash is not enough to save the Karma from the damage. Lux is also 1-1 health from a Syndra ult, I guess. So yeah, suddenly Dynasty is struggling even more in the bot lane. But there's a little bit of hope in the mid lane that maybe wasn't there before.
I just love coming up from a fight, just seeing just
I
the
think
after
Weeze
effect.
has this, by the way. Oh, never mind.
No, there's no fight. There's no fight happening. It's top lane.
I need to stop pretending top lane is doing things again. I don't know why I stopped. Okay,
It's
look, they're
because you're
fighting.
seeing
It's
too
not real.
aggressive. Oh, hold on, he's dead.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. Stop. Go
He
back
was
to
one.
not believing.
That was
It's
one.
not,
I
it's not
know.
real. It's
I
not
know.
real.
Okay, I hate that your hate has infected me, but is I think he's. Oh, hold on. Okay, that was.
Oh, flash forward, actually, to get the slow. Now the stun comes out, misses. There's no flash for Figgy, but the blast plant will do. And because she was able to sidestep the Syndra QE, she gets out with her life.
And that's a flash down from Kindred.
Mhm.
Wow, this game is exciting.
It's
That
definitely got...
almost still.
Karma is not respecting the CC, by the way. No flash from last play. Ezreal ease forward, gets the kill. It's not worth much gold, but it's certainly going to be worth the tower.
So was Karma pretending he didn't have vision of everybody? Like, what's going on here?
I think it's just a little bit of like, I'm underneath my first tower, I'm close to my second. There's no way. There's no possible way this could go poorly. And then, inevitably it does.
He paid the price on that one. Meanwhile,
Okay, Kindred coming for the gank, has no flash. Trundle doesn't either. The Unite through on Riven to try to get the counter kill. Ult comes in to heal a lot, but Kindred's still DPSing for free. Riven's able to get away, but for how long? Has to go back through. Gets the final damage through.
I'm just gonna be honest. If I was riveting them, I would be massively uncomfortable. How?
It was a little closer than it felt at first.
Yeah, like.
And this does mean Conduit's going for their third Drake of the game because they saw the Kindred up there. And this is probably a trade you have to make whenever you see the 5-0 Ezreal. Like, it's not like a strategical misstep. It's the correct thing to do. But it's scary to be on that third Drake for Conduit. Or, it's scary for Conduit to be on that third Drake. It's not that scary for Conduit. I think they're very happy with it. Herald is going to do a lot of damage, though. If Riven gets the second tower later because of this Herald, that will be an immense amount of pressure as well.
Well, at least she didn't stay to try to ride it out. And I mean that literally. At least she didn't stay to try to, like, ride Herald.
Syndra is fighting Lux again, but Lux finds Syndra! The stun comes out, R-button! And they trade evenly! But that's a shutdown for Conduit, which that Dynasty had really does not want to be giving up at this point in the game.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. That was hilarious.
It was a bit hilarious. Just two mages duking it out as only mages can.
They both. You said Syndra. Said Lux found Syndra, and then so no, Syndra's found her, and they're both dead. Oh, great, man! I loved it. I know we're gonna see it again because I think they have a vendetta against each other now.
I'm curious to see what Dynasty is going to do about this dragon situation. For the last two dragons, Kindred has clearly been cross-mapped because of the Ezreal, but you can't really afford to do that for the Hextech Soul. So, what kind of preparations are they going to make for it?
Well, let's see. We've got 3 minutes on it now. They have some time. Is anything else coming up? Nothing else is going to be up for the take.
I mean, Baron technically, but we all know that's not realistic.
I mean, if they were real as all get out.
It's worth noting too. One other important factor, by the way, this Riven has been snowballed ahead by it. The tower on top lane blue side is at 1 health, and Trundle doesn't have TP. So how do they match the? It looks like they're going to send Lux, which makes sense, but I'm not sure if that matters. Kindred is getting the slow onto Maokai. Maokai has to flash out. The counter engage should be serious. Riven's here trying to get the kill. Maokai ults to stun people, but it doesn't matter. He's dead. Ezreal's not going to be able to get any kind of counter kill. And maybe everything I talked about doesn't really matter. The teleport from Riven goes bot lane to stop Trundle from getting that tower, which means it won't be up for the dragon. Sivir's kind of getting low. Ezreal ease forward in the face of Syndra QE, but it misses. And Lux is getting top tower by herself as well.
Yeah.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness, Kindred 1 health. It's
Oh, man.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine because she didn't die, but if she had died, it would have been like an oh shit situation.
Okay, so now you have to see Syndra versus Lux matching each other, presumably for the dragon. Maybe they just 5v5 kind of gentleman's agreement. No one's going to TP. This tower is probably going to go down because Ezreal does that with 6 Void Grubs. Maokai ult is going to be up just the tail end of the dragon, or no, sorry, 150 it'll be up for sure.
This
Trundle
tower
is
is
just
going down.
mercilessly beating on this tower. I think he's gonna die for it, but I'm not sure that he's upset about it.
I don't think he's gonna die. No one's coming to help. I think
Uh,
Riven's actually gonna die here.
Okay, I don't
Unless
understand top lane, but yeah, you're right. Riven cannot make the full commitment, and the tower goes down for nothing. Syndra is up top lane with 4 people from Conduit also looking. They decide to go mid because they don't want to give up the dragon pressure. Sivir goes to half because that Ezreal's too strong. And
Crusader has a full mirror mana and essence reaver. At this phase
yeah,
of
I
the
don't know.
game,
I don't know how the soul contest goes. Syndra needs to be really careful here because Brand has flash. Doesn't decide to use it, but how do you ever face check anything in the dragon pit? Do you see how few vision is on both sides for the dragon pit? They're both putting it on Baron, which makes sense for the moment, but in 60 seconds whenever dragon's up, how are you going to face check anything?
um, I mean you're not wrong. Also, the, oh
Riven
yeah,
in
I
trouble
thought
here,
this was gonna
slowed.
happen.
Stun goes well. He's able to Q away. And top lane once again disappoints me. Kindred's here, however.
Well, you may not be
Stun
disappointed
comes
much longer.
in.
King is here.
Pillar won't be up for a little bit. It doesn't even matter because he dies instantly. And that completely turns into the dragon in 30 seconds. Trundle does not have TP once again. So instead, they're going to commit Lux mid or top lane. They're going to TP in the Ezreal mid lane. They can't be contesting this dragon without Trundle, right?
I don't think they are. I think they're just gonna.
Syndra's going to look for the Ezreal. I don't think there's an E cooldown on Ezreal. It's going to absolutely fall to death for no reason.
And I can't believe I'm saying this. There's no TP on the Ezreal, so he's gonna walk here. And this
Yeah,
dragon
I mean,
is
but Lux is getting this tower, so it's not complete. I mean, yes, it was sold for Conduit if they got it, but not getting it isn't nearly as devastating. They get the top tower solely for Lux. Trundle got the
Hold
other
on.
tower.
Oh.
They're even getting a TP. This TP is purely just to protect the minion wave, and it almost leaves with her dead anyways because Maokai ult comes through. Brand is here with flash. Syndra has the flash, but still gets rooted. Brand just walks up slowly, doesn't even finish off the job except with the burn. No flash required, and it's just a complete disaster for Dynasty.
That was such a disrespectful way to kill her. He let the passive tickle. He let the fadeaway passive. Have you ever heard of such a thing as the fadeaway passive? Oh, that was dirty. He did her dirty.
Riven
Also,
committing your
Syndra
flash is
wants
in.
this.
It's just a Maokai support. Brand has no ability to do. Oh wait, actually, Ezreal's coming in. Brand might escape. Tries the channel, gets stopped by Riven, but Ezreal gets the shutdown on Riven, which was the one shining beacon of Dynasty. We go to bot lane where Trundle is trying to 1v2 and actually succeeding. Flash for flash for flash. Kindred ult does not save Sivir, but it doesn't matter because Trundle goes down chasing her anyways.
So, they've apparently realized that if your name isn't Riven, you probably shouldn't approach Trundle. Then they also realized that they have a Sivir who can just kite Trundle forever. Which was exactly what happened there. Don't get me wrong. She had to use her flash and everything to get away, but still, she lived.
I mean, the fact that Trundle took all of the pressure from the first 3 dragons and is still making a play like that, where you call so many people to the bot lane, make them use their ultimates and summoners. I mean, that's still a win for Conduit, even if they objectively lose the 300 gold.
I mean, that's also not surprising that would happen. I mean, Trundle just has to bring one person down there. Yeah, it's Hullbreaker now too. Um, I think we were forgetting that Trundle is only here to take towers. We It's because he's been scrapping with Riven and he's been coming up like real close to winning if he doesn't win.
This is a
Um,
fight over red buff, by the way. 3v2. Karma's coming, however. Syndra half health.
it's 40%
Syndra
for
gets it for his
HP.
team.
Just gone.
Malka's... Yeah, it's a little unfair. Playing against Ezreal with 6 kills, 3 items is a little tough. Riven going for some under tower damage. Shield denies the entire tower dive damage. But the follow-up is on Trundle. Just decides to walk away from it.
I mean, at this point,
Ezreal just constantly eats for it, by the way. No fear in the world. Kindred is here to try to punish, but she gets rooted into root into knockaway. However, that's not enough damage. Maokai's down in trouble, has to flash out, use his own ultimate. Lux only over is gonna kill Illicit Raven.
Karma.
Yes.
One supposed to say Karma.
I was like to
I know you got. I know
provide
you get
names
excited.
sometimes.
It's okay. You got excited. Also,
Kindred coming in. Brand is walking into kind of a difficult situation, but it kind of fizzles, so never mind.
at this point, I don't know if they even want to fight, because every time Chondo gets involved in anything, it's like everybody just backs off.
They're gonna have to force the issue eventually, especially with this soul spawning in 90 seconds.
Yep, and speaking of Chondo, he's just posturing with Riven. Is she gonna stop that
Yeah.
back?
They're just
No.
not at all. And you know what? I respect it. Getting the bot push for an extra wave in means that the recall can come out just before dragon spawns. Stopping the back looks cute, but honestly, that back is not the end of the world. So just focus on the wave. Don't fall for any bait. Get the wave
Yeah,
pushed
I honestly
in.
believe that would have actually got her killed. If I'm being honest with you. Well, blue buff for everybody on the team. Thanks, Riot. Those new updates are kind of cool.
Remember last time, Dynasty was bailed out of not losing soul because they got a pick. Now it is 45 seconds until Dragon. I don't see a pick coming, so they're gonna have to straight up fight 5v5. Rumble doesn't have TP, he is top lane, but if you teleport the Riven out, it's a little dicey for your base. Meanwhile, they're trapped in a corner. Sivir goes.
No!
Oh, the stun onto Lux, and Lux looks for a pick and instead gets picked herself. So I was wrong. They do get bailed out by a pick.
It doesn't respect. She can just be around any
Ezreal's
corner.
playing a little aggressive, able to get Kindred to half and Karma to half because his R button does that much damage. The stun comes out on the center of the Maokai ult means everyone has to back away. Kindred ult comes out, but Karma walks out of it, so does everyone else! The heal is good, but there's no health bars to contest the soul. It has to be soul for conduit.
Riven has TP. She is off to the side.
Right, but if you TP the Riven, you're going for at best a 50-50 and you're absolutely losing your top inhib. She is deciding to try to fight it. No smite in the area. They're all trying to stop Trundle, so it's just going to be a one-man drop for Riven.
Is up.
Does not get the steal. Is teleported on, so the fight's going to continue. I think she gets out. Fails the Q over the wall. The Hextech soul slows her down. She has to flash over the wall. That is going to be the end of it, but a heroic effort, but you're not a jungler against 3 people. There's no way you're ever stopping that soul.
She tried to deal with the SQ damage off the R, but that wasn't gonna work. Because Brand has smite.
Yeah, smite is a pretty good ability for getting objectives, I hear.
Exactly. You think they learned this? Aren't they close to Diamond or whatever?
Sometimes you just gotta be the hero, even in Diamond, you know?
Nah, I wouldn't know.
Oh,
I'm not in Diamond, so I don't have to be the hero. I can be I can be the Luffy of this situation.
Wait, isn't Luffy the hero still?
Oh no, God no. He even says it himself. He's not a hero. Read One Piece.
Alright, my bad.
Watch One Piece.
I will get back to you after 10,000 hours of reading One Piece, and I will understand your metaphor.
You're making a joke, but you just promised that on stream, and you now have to hold it. Like, that's your word. You heard her. Scarlet is now gonna get into One Piece. Come talk to me when you get to Ooh, which one do I want you to talk to?
Okay, we're
Hmm.
getting a
I don't
little
know what
lost in
arc.
the
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah, we are.
You know, there is a soul, but the gold lead is not that significant. It's more the structure lead and maybe the Trundle versus Riven matchup that's really dynamic about this matchup. But you know, save the Hextech Soul. There is still some chances for Dynasty to get back into this. However,
I'm
their vision
sorry.
is getting
I'm
cleared
sorry.
out.
I don't have anything to say. I'm thinking about One Piece. Um, know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Give you. I'll let you just get a taste, and then you can talk to me about it, and then you can just stop. Talk to me when we get to the Arlong arc.
Uh-huh.
All
How
right.
about we
There
get
you
to
go.
the arc of the finish of this game? The
I'm
arc of
not
the
playing.
Baron
I can't stop
contest.
that.
Um, okay. So push comes out from Conduit. They're looking to set up a Baron. Kindred in enemy territory. Lux might be in trouble here. It's certainly going to cost some lives of Dynasty, but for now, they're going
Hold
for the
up.
Kindred. But Lux doesn't even die. Kindred is only going to delay the inevitable. There's no way that she kills the Lux. She has to flash over. Riven is also on the escape. Ezra flashes over in a pure show of contempt and gets the kill.
Yeah,
And now
Ezreal.
Maokai's rooting and Riven's just dead. It's an entire plus surplus for Conduit next to the Baron. You know where they're taking that. Yeah, Dynasty might get a tower, but a tower is not a Baron. It certainly isn't a soul. I
Well, I
was
mean, they're
lying
gonna
about
get two
Dynasty having
towers.
hopes into this. It's now purely on the backs of a Hail Mary, basically.
Man, they thought they was smooth with that Lux pick, though. They thought they was really just gonna pick up Lux and walk out.
I mean, it's not like you ever think that kind of play is going to work. It's more like we got to go for the least likely to fail play, or the play that's like the most likely to not turn into disaster. And unfortunately for them, it turned into disaster in a world of plays that were going to turn into disaster.
He did that just to take that Betsy's veil off. I know he did.
Yeah, well, it's scary. Lux lands a Q, she's dead.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
no Banshee's Veil is suddenly very scary. Oh, there's a Q, barely
Oh,
misses. Maokai's still in the area though, so Syndra has to back off.
listen, I'm gonna give it to Cinder's got the fancy footwork.
Mm-hmm.
But also off to the side there, Kindred. I thought Kindred was posturing. No, it's just taking chickens.
I mean, you don't really go for a play right now. You attempt to make a play under your inhibitor or maybe your Nexus towers, so I don't blame her. They are fighting against Soul and a Baron buff right now, so it's not really the opportune time to try to make your miracle play. So, just to update everyone, this is a deciding game 3. It is 1-1 right now. Conduit's looking to close it out in a 2-1 fashion, but if Dynasty can find that miracle play, they will win the series. So it's still, you know, there's still some tension.
I love that.
Ezreal's
Can
teleporting
find
behind. I think he's just doing it for the Elder pressure. There's not going to be a play made necessarily, but it's certainly going to make it difficult for Dynasty to find anything here. Riven goes to half just for face check. Actually might die because the Lux ult just the entirety of her health bar. And
Well, that's Elder.
there's yeah, there's no chance for Elder to be stolen now. The only chance they have is to maybe make a play on Trundle while the rest of Conduit is occupied. And Trundle, understanding that, he backs off.
Well, man, that sucks massively for them. Also,
Just
Trundle's so scary nowadays that he just causes people to flash.
so an update from the other series where we unfortunately did not get to watch Game 3, and I'm really sad about it now because Rift Warriors was able to pull it back and not get 3-0'd. And I think that is mostly due to their draft, and I would imagine they're level 1, which we will never see. But
Wow, that's rough.
I am
Well,
really glad
there's
that
Cinder's HP. Almost would have died there.
but I'm really glad that they were able to pull it together and find a draft plus strategy that really worked for them. This tower is
Yeah.
definitely going down. If I am on Dynasty, I'm telling them, please fight under the double Nexus towers. That is our only hope.
Oof, that's rough, but it is true. Meanwhile, Trundle is still top lane. I mean, that inhibitor is going down. There's nobody's
Yeah,
gonna.
you absolutely don't try to fight. The double root forces out the Kindred ult. That's so sad. The Brand goes
Got
forward,
him.
gets the burn into Elder ult. Now the double root again. And even the double towers are not going to be your salvation here. Meanwhile, Trundle's taking them out anyway, so the rest of Conduit can dive under the tower. They can do all sorts of burn things. Brand can even suicide. It doesn't matter. He's going to one. Still going to live. Sivir's going down. Sivir does get the Brand at least, but the Nexus will fall. And Conduit will close out the series 2-1.
I love how Trundle is just in the corner, like, yeah, guys, I've just been here taking punishment all game. I just want to get this over with already. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it was a nice game to see Ezreal do positive things. Because that was the majority of that game, was watching Ezreal take a small lead from, I'm assuming, level 1 and just snowball it, which is why Ezreal is drafted. I mean, it shows like why the other series was so focused on Ezreal for so long. But it was nice to see at least a conclusion of that match, see that they were able to get that victory in game 3, and yeah, just a complete snowball off of a 3-0 Ezreal.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to see Ezreal Shawn tonight.
I wasn't gonna say it like that, just like
That was
because
that
it
was.
must be said for Rift Warriors as well. They got off the Ezreal and they won a game. Now I don't know if it was through their bot lane or if they were just like, Tyler, we're sending the jungler, we're sending the mid laner. Whatever happened, they got it done.
Listen, but this thing though, I didn't get to see him shine. So I'm not saying. I'm just saying we didn't get to see that Ezreal shine. Who knows? I don't know if he did good or not. To be honest with you.
Um,
Um, the
yeah.
point is though,
Uh,
good job everybody. Good job everybody.
so
Um,
to clear up everything that happened on stream, RAWR beat Rift Warriors 2-1, and Conduit was able to close it out versus Dynasty 2-1 as well. And that will be our Crusader games for the week. It was kind of cool to be able to see 4 teams today, even if we didn't get to see the entirety of all of them. And definitely hear back about the third game of the other series.
well, in that case, I think that we should just go ahead and well, we already said congratulations, right?
Anyways, let's focus on our sponsor for a little bit because they haven't gotten a shout out.
Oh, yeah,
Coachify
our
GG
sponsor.
won't go out on you during spectator delay. They won't leave you without a game to cast. They are always there, and they are free, zero commissions, and they have course tracking and PayPal integration. And yeah, hopefully, whenever you're waiting 3 minutes for your match, you can always talk to your coach, even if you can't watch your match. And
Yeah,
that is why Coachify is our sponsor.
exactly. We're not mad, Riot. We're not
No, of course
salty.
not. And thank you guys for watching for our tumultuous week. I've heard that even the day I wasn't here, things were kind of rocky. We do have plans to potentially make it better going forward. Obviously, Riot could also just make it possible to spectate their game. So next week will be better. And
No,
we'll see you
stop.
then.
Hold on. Stop. Next week we want it to be better. We cannot promise that it will be better. Hold on.
Next
Before she
week
does that,
we have plans to make it better.
no, we want it to. Stop
And we
trying to
want them
make
to
us
work.
responsible for stuff. What's wrong with you?
Okay. We are praying to the gods of the rift that next week will be better, and we'll see you then.
That's as close as we're getting to it. Yeah. Later, guys. Good night.